am not here for the run around. I am not here for the rigmarole.
Hey guys, welcome back to Golden Aesthetics. This is Artemus Dolgin. Today I'm with a very special person that's special to me. It's my true inspiration, the OG Danny Hester, the very first Mr Olympia in classic physique, the guy that set the standard. Danny, I was just gonna tell you, man, I was admiring your calves and your style. I was just telling you that before we started this. In Venice and Golds, I didn't know who the fuck you were, but I knew you were fucking OG as fuck. Because you were jacked as fuck and you wear this fucking denim that's cut in here, you know, fucking tight tanks, fucking sick hats. And I swear, bro, I wanted to be like you. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. And then seeing you wear the first classic physique, which I was really inspired by. I went to your show where you turned pro. I mean, in classic physique, that show in Culver City.
I remember.
Yeah, I went there to see you, and I was so happy that you won genuinely. And then when you went to compete in classic physique in Olympia, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're the only one that's. There is some new guys that came up right now that can fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
You know, sure. But not the lineup on the first and the second. This one right now is going to be much more stacked. And it's fucking sick to see where it's going, because the guys are bringing it. Like you can't deny it. Like Keon that just won New York Pro, the guy's stacked. You know, sick dude. I really really enjoy his physique. And there's a few other black guys that are fucking. I mean, wow. You know, wow.
No, there is. There's. It's like apples and oranges and everything in between, but they're just getting so. It's about the quality, and the presentation is strong, and it's getting strong. Yes, exactly.
Talent. You know, a lot of talent, and I think social media helped reveal more talent.
I think so.
You know, because there were guys you couldn't see before. You know, to make it to the magazine, or they would never come out of the gym.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it is now with social media, they could see when they first start the whole spectrum of how everyone looks and the progression. You know, from the history and how people are now and how people have actually changed. So they can see what route they want to take. Because before it was just, you know, every so often they could see physique and they see it change, but they don't really know if there's different directions to go. You know, for me, luckily, I always was an athlete, so I didn't want to stray far from a physique that looked like Incredible Hulk. I wanted more like Superman, you know, more like a Tarzan, more athletic, but still muscular enough. To, you know, that has power in it, but not overwhelming where you can't really be functional. So I always had that in the back of my head. And, you know, for me, I wasn't a big eater. So, you know, it really took a lot for me to really try to put on the weight. And I had a very fast metabolism. And I did a lot of things outside of bodybuilding too, you know, with the mixed martial arts. A lot of active things. Because I was a gymnast since I was 6 years old. You know, martial arts, wrestling in high school and college, and boxing. You know, so I always chose individual sports. You know, my brothers, they all like team sports. They like individual sports. They really like team sports too. But I always wanted individual sports because in team sports, you know, there's some little bit of politics. If the coach, you know,
I get it.
It's like if the team wins but you suck, you still win. If you're great and the team loses, then you're lose.
Not that great.
So I wanted to make sure that I had control of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was nice because I went out, you know, to try out for the varsity challenge. You know, in wrestling, you had to challenge someone to be on the varsity team. At any, you could be a freshman and still challenge. You know, I love that part of it. The coach doesn't decide who's gonna play. If you beat that guy, then that's yours. That's your position. So I've always loved individual sports. You know, and that's why I got into bodybuilding.
How did you transition from the mixed martial? What brought you to bodybuilding?
Because I was used to get teased with my teammates. You know, because I'd get a pump up, and you know, for me it was all about presentation too. Because psychologically, I think it really made a difference, especially when you're younger in high school, because you can almost, by the way you look and carry yourself, you can almost have won the match before you even started. You could just tell by the opponent how he's responding to your energy. You know, and but you got to back it up with some talent too.
Absolutely.
But that definitely had a big part of it. And so I really enjoyed the aspect of the build up before the match. And it got everyone excited. It was like almost, you know, there'd be wrestling matches at tournaments, and then when I would come up, I'd have everyone just gather around.
Oh, everybody would watch you.
Yeah, because I was always, cut and everything, and I would. So it was like
You were genetically gifted.
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
That's why.
And just like the way I moved and everything when I was warming up, people were like, "Whoa, this guy."
How did you do in wrestling?
I did really well. I went to college. I wrestled in college, but there wasn't anything other than the Olympics afterwards. And
Okay.
that's a lot of dedication without pay.
100%. 100%. Did you see the Ben Askren wrestling match? Just recent. It was like with the Olympic champ, the black guy, the black kid. What's his name in wrestling? He's a big name. They just did a wrestling match, and Ben Askren, who's fighting in the UFC, he's a Bellator champ. He's undefeated, and they did this really big exhibition for wrestling. That was like the biggest event, to cut, and they gave a little bit more, I think, shine to wrestling because it doesn't get what it deserves.
Yeah.
I think those guys are amazing.
The crazy thing is, a good friend of mine, Apollo Ono, is he's icon. He's 3 Olympics, like probably the most decorated medalist other than Michael Phelps, and he does the winter sports. But he's a good friend of mine. We work out. I train him, and he told me a few years ago. He's like, "Guess what?" Because he's on the Olympic advisory, because that's his life, and they were gonna cut wrestling from the Olympics. I thought he was joking at first.
No, I heard that. Yeah.
And then it was true. I'm like, "Are you kidding?" That's what started the Olympics. It was track and field and wrestling.
It's a pure form of competition. Pure form
that's
of competition. That's
what they have in the Greek statues of the Olympics. And I'm thinking, what?
Absolutely.
But it wasn't getting the ratings on TV.
Same thing with Greco. And I started in Greco.
Yeah.
I started Greco-Roman wrestling. I was really good at it.
Yeah.
I was a champ home, and then I came here and I got a scholarship here for college. I didn't really wrestle. I was working as a boss boy at a restaurant, dude, in fucking St. Louis. And there were some Polish guys that they came to eat, and I heard him speak Polish, and I was like, start speaking Polish to them, and it's like, man, do you wrestle? What do you do? Because I'm always been in shape.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm a wrestler, and they said like, oh man, we have a wrestling team back in college, and our friends are state champions, and we will set it up for you so you might get a scholarship. We'll help you to get in school. So I went to the open workout, and I wrestled very well. I threw some guys around, and Greco-Roman is, to me, I like it a lot more because of the throws and how it just looks.
That was my style.
That would look so poetic. You know what I mean? When you
beautiful.
Fucking throw someone, it's like hitting a pose. You know what I mean?
It really is.
And that was like I was really good at it because this is what I practiced. And Russian school, bro, is very strong in wrestling. And the coach gave me a scholarship right away. I didn't end up wrestling
the Russians
or anything.
and the Persians, the Iranians were the top.
100%,
and the Americans.
100%.
Those 3 were the
East,
that's what wrestling.
The Middle East is really strong in wrestling. It's really popular there. I think it just, I think it has to do a lot with culture and the tradition.
Yeah.
And those people are warriors. And just like you said, in the Olympics, that was the first sport. That before boxing, that was a pure form of competition between men. And to cut it from the Olympics, it sucked.
Because it wasn't getting the ratings. Which is. I can understand, and they were talking about doing that with boxing, but what they did is they changed the boxing. They no more headgear.
Yeah.
And they went to a different point system.
I've noticed that. The headgear.
Because you come from the Olympics and you go into professional, it's kind of a different ballgame. It doesn't assure you that you're going to be a champion.
100%.
Because it's totally different. And I think it was Boom Boom Mancini when he fought the Korean kid and died. Before that, there were some other issues with the head trauma. So that's when they actually put the headgear on for the amateurs. But there's never been proof that it actually stops anything other than getting cut. It's good to wear when you're training.
No, when you get a fucking blow into your head with the headgear, you fucking feel it, bro.
Yeah.
You feel it.
There was never any evidence. They just needed to do something at the time because there's so much people talking about, especially with that guy dying. So they installed the headgear. Now they realize, no, that's not the case because of the, the head trauma and stuff. They're like, okay, let's take it out and we're going to change the style and it's going to bring up, boxing as far as the ratings now too, which is good. I think it's good. That's a whole nother conversation in general as far as head trauma.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that kind of kept me from doing that.
So keep going.
Yeah, but I loved it. But I felt it. I'm really in tune with my body. I think that's what kept me going for so long because I know when to push, when not. I just turned 50 a few months ago.
No fucking way. Dude, he's fucking 50 years old.
I
Daddy,
know.
you're
I
the
know.
fucking man.
Isn't that
And you're
crazy?
competing in Mr.
Yeah,
Olympia, dude. And
yeah.
people whine like, man, fuck, I'm 34.
I
It's
know.
too late for anything.
Well,
What
you
I,
know, I
what,
think the sport really keeps me young. I think sports in general keep you young.
100%.
Because not just physically, but also mentally too. Because I mean, I went to my high school reunion, and every time I go for my high school reunions, it's like, wow, these people are just
Ready to die.
yeah.
They're waiting to die. That's
They gave up a
basically-
long time ago.
100%.
Unbelievable.
They fucking give up in 20s.
And yeah,
In
well, you know,
20s.
I gave up when I stopped probably about 30 years old, and I opened up gyms and stuff and tried to do business. And that was the way bodybuilding was getting to the mass monsters. I felt they didn't appreciate just the posing and the aesthetics anymore. So I said, well, there's no more room for me. I'll still stay within the sport because I love the camaraderie and everything. And fortunately for me, I was training in Venice. And I've had a membership at Gold's Venice since 1989.
So you're from LA originally?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Down more towards Santa Barbara, Ventura County. And so I've been, you know,
You've been in
around for a
Venice
long
since
time.
70s.
No, 89.
89.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't make
man,
me do
fuck,
it.
you can't be silly. Bro, but still,
Yeah.
that's a long time. That was,
Yeah.
you know, that's the era I really wanted to ask you about because I'm really a big fan of Camille Livroni.
Yeah.
And I think he was probably the most fucking freakish bodybuilder that had a combination of mass, freakiness, and the fucking aesthetics.
Yeah.
I think that was it. You
Kevin
know?
was a really good athlete. First time I met Kevin is I used to host a show on ESPN called American Muscle Magazine, and I was frequently on there all the time. And that was back in the late '80s, early '90s, and Kevin had just won the nationals, I believe, and they did a profile on him, and they did
Holy
a profile on me the same day we shot. And so afterwards, we went with the owner of the show, the promoter, and we had dinner. And that was the first time. I remember when I was lifting too. He's like, "How come you don't use heavier weight?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just want to get a pump. I don't really want to, you know, make it feel like it's too much like work." And he's like, "Well, you got to work if you want to make gains." You know, I remember him saying that. I said, "You could lift more. You should lift more." And I said, "Okay." But he said it in such a cool way. You know,
But I
like he
think-
saw potential in me, and I should do more.
Dude, but I think you should do more until this day.
It's true. Everyone says that. I know.
I know.
I know.
Every time
That's
I fucking
true.
saw you, you were on the fucking treadmill,
know.
just fucking walking with your calves out. That's all. That's all the workout was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're exceptionally gifted, dude, bro. Like even if
Yeah.
you don't lift, your physique still looks very cut up. You still.
But I'll always do something, and that's the thing is I get so disappointed in a lot of people, and especially the younger guys too, where it's like you have to have a certain standard for yourself, and you
Okay.
should never let yourself fall past that. You can go here and here, but don't ever let yourself come down because it's harder to get back up, and that's what ages you when you let yourself go a little bit. So you need to keep a certain standard that's obtainable, but it's still above the normal person, where you're in striking distance. Anytime you want to get in crazy shape, you can do it without a lot of effort or time. And I really believe if you keep a certain standard for yourself and the expectations, then you can slowly make the gains, because then your standard will be here and you're used to keeping it here, and you have your set point. You could raise it a little bit more each time, and that's when you make the gains. Pretty soon your standard's way here, and you can maintain that. And then if you really want to go there, people seem to want to go here or like here. And I think that's what you lose the longevity, and it just really wears on you also. And it shows you when you're done competing, you know, you're gonna be here, because then you don't have a standard for yourself.
Danny, how did you?
And I see it all the time.
How did you get into competing?
Actually, my wrestling coach got me into it. A few different. It's very interesting because I was a breakdancer when I was like 11, 12 years old.
What else you did? What else you didn't do? You
Well,
fucking
because
did
it was
all.
athletic, you know, and I was in martial arts, and so I was one of the best in the world. A lot of people don't know that.
No shit.
I had a manager.
No fucking
Yeah.
way.
I
No
used-
fucking way.
Yeah, I
That's
used
crazy.
to do grand openings of places. I was on American Bandstand, Soul Train.
No fucking
Yeah.
way, dude.
It was crazy. I
Damn.
opened and helped choreograph 100 breakdancers for the opening ceremony in the '84 Olympics when it was here in USC. Yeah, 100 breakdancers. And it was Denise Williams, Let's Hear It for the Boys. Remember that song?
No, but that's
You
insane.
play it, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, because I'm not from around
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean?
And
But-
that was when my generation was when because breakdancing started on the East Coast. You hear the B-boys, New York, City Breakers.
Okay.
They started it, and theirs was more. It was cool. It was the foundation of it.
What year was
that? I would have to say 82.
No
81.
fucking way, man. I can't imagine the style.
Yeah. But they had it. That's when that was coming out. And then with the DJing and then the graffiti, it kind of meshed together. And the rapping. That's when the rapping really meshed with the breakdancing. It was just that whole generation.
It was exploding. Kind of died out lately.
Well, that's the thing is because it went mainstream, and then the hardcore people let it go. So it was no more of the
culture.
The culture. It was burnt out because that's one of the main reasons I stopped. Because when we first started, East Coast introduced it to us. The West Coast took it to a whole nother level. We brought in the acrobatics of it. They had the groundwork and stuff like that, but when it came to us, we put in flips, like incredible aerials and stuff like that. So we took it more to a performance level, like athletic level. And that's when I got on board with it. And so we used to, and that was cool because back in the day, that was when gangs were going on with the Bloods and the Crips really strong. And breakdancing, if you were really good, that was the only time you can go into another area and breakdance and you wouldn't get killed. It was amazing. It was a little scary, and I was young too. And
wow.
Yeah, it was true. It was
story.
true, and they would see you, and if you were good, even if you beat their guys, they loved it. They embraced you.
Yeah.
It was really
it's
cool.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's the truth, and that's why everyone has especially the way things are so divisive right now. But if we can embrace something, whether it's sport or whatever, we can all unite on. It shows that our differences aren't really our differences.
Yeah, that we're all human beings, and we
can get along. We just need to focus on one common thing that we can appreciate.
Totally
Don't
agree
focus
with you.
on the things we don't agree on.
Totally agree with you.
But that,
Totally.
and that was life or death back then too. I mean, to roll into a neighborhood that they knew where you were from because your neighborhood were actually killing each other with other neighborhoods, but you can actually go there.
That's so dope.
As a dancer, and actually get praised for it, And there were some haters, and you were kind of like, ooh, I hope that guy doesn't. You could tell they don't like you, either they're jealous or whatever. But then usually the bigger guys that run stuff, they put them in check.
Where did you live back then?
Oxnard, Ventura County, Oxnard. And Oxnard was a predominantly, it was an interesting culture I grew up in because it was right by the ocean, and the hills were ranches and stuff. And then you had the ocean, the beach people, and then you had all the farmland. So all the farmland was predominantly immigrants, usually Hispanic immigrants that came in their first generation, second generation. And those were all the lowriders and homeboys. And then you had the beach because the surfers. So you had kind of the surf cultures, because that's the culture.
Yeah,
so
yeah, 100%.
If you go in the wrong area and surf, they'll
get
kick
kicked
your
out.
ass.
Yeah.
And then we had the ranches and the hills and stuff, and that was mostly like Hell's Angels and all that stuff. And and so, but all of us went to school together, all the kids. I used to train George Christie and his family and everybody, and he was the head of the Hell's Angels.
No fucking
yeah,
way,
for
dude.
the whole area. He was actually in the History Channel when they did a documentary on the Hell's Angels, and they put a hit out on him because he was telling because he was one of the top guys. Yeah,
bro, you've been around the block, man. You've met all kinds of people.
Yeah, well, that's what really made me understand how for at least for me things work, because it was such different cultures, but we were all be able to unite, and so it was a very interesting mix. It was almost like when we grew up, it was like lowrider, surfer, bikers mix. It was a very interesting culture, even the way we dressed and everything.
That's what influenced. You have like a cholo style a little bit.
Cholo surfer and
yeah,
kind of biker.
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what I grew up with.
Yeah, with Converse and the high socks and the fucking dude. I swear, man, that style motivated me because I am more of a. I always wanted to be in California, so I absorbed this culture very well, and I have my own swagger, and I feel like I fit in here,
Yeah,
I definitely do. When I saw you for the first time, I was like, man, fuck, that's the man right there. Danny, how did you end up moving to Venice?
Well, I mean, I've always came up here. And that's the thing is I was always coming up here when I was breakdancing. Because, of course, Venice is where everyone came to battle. It was like a neutral ground. They shot the movie Breaking here. And, you know, with the graffiti and the DJs and everything. And they shot a lot of stuff here. So I was always coming up. And the interesting, you'd ask me how I got into the bodybuilding. I got introduced into it because I was a breakdancer. And there was a small little gym by my mom's house. And I would ride my bike to go play video games because there was a liquor store next to the gym. And we would, you know, buy candy or whatever. And there was video games. We'd play video games there, and the gym was next door. And one day I was walking by the gym, and the aerobics room you could see, and there was no one in there. I saw the mirrors, and I saw the hardwood floors. I went, whoa, I snuck in. I would practice like every day for a couple hours. And then one day, the owner caught me, and he was going to kick me out. But I had already practicing. They had like a little daycare for the gym, the kids. You know, it was older kids too.
Yeah.
And the parents would train. And they would actually come out and they would watch me. So I had like a little following when I would practice. So when the owner was kicking me out, one of the moms stepped in. She's like, you know, my kids love it. They actually wanted me to come to the gym every day to watch this kid, you know. And so she asked, does he do lessons? I made a deal with the owner at like 12 years old. I was getting paid a lot. I had like 40 kids breakdancing lessons. Huh?
How old you were?
Probably 11 or 12 years old.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah. And so he let me stay and practice, and I would train all these kids, and we would split the money with the owner. And that's how, and that was in a gym. And then when I would be done, I would go to the bathroom, wash my hands and stuff, and I'd come out, and I would go in the other room where the weight room was, and I would look at it, and I'd go there, I'd watch people, and then I would like, you know, pick up the weight and try it. And that was when my body's still young. Haven't really hit puberty yet.
Fuck, dude, you were young.
Yeah, but I was athletic. I was always cut, you know, like Bruce Lee. And so I started going in there, and the owner's like, "Oh, you're too young to be in here," but I liked it, and I kept sneaking in. And so he let me anyways, and that was my introduction to being in the gym. So everything ties in together, which is so cool.
Yes, dude, 100%. You just kept rocking with the gym. And at what time do you feel like? I mean, you were saying that.
Well, also because I grew up in a predominantly kind of Latin neighborhood area, like I told you, the culture.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends, his father was the president of the Dukes. It was like one of the biggest lowrider, hot rod car clubs. And so they were always welding and fixing cars and stuff. And they would always have like uncles or stuff like that just got out of jail, and they would come visit and hang out, you know, drink beer and stuff. So the kids would be there, and they would always like have fights, and with the kids fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it taught us, it's like, you're going to talk crap to this kid, you got to back it up.
This is dope.
You know, so that was kind of the culture. And so I learned like the bigger guys and stuff. I said, I want to be like that. Wow, he just got out of jail, and he's really nice, but people respected him. You know, and he was always doing curls in the garage and stuff like that.
Yeah, prison style.
I want to do that.
Man, that's a badass workout, to be honest. The prison workout.
For sure.
Like, you look at those guys like, man, fuck, dude. I got motivated.
Well, the irony, the cool thing is that I ended up, you know, I'm a registered nurse also. I went to nursing school.
Yeah, you told me
when I wrestled. And then it was, I worked at the mental hospital as a nurse. At Camarillo State Hospital, which is one of the biggest.
Out of anything, hospitals. You would work in a mental hospital, dude.
Yeah, that made me grow up really fast. You know, I thought I was a good-looking kid in shape, and you know, being a male nurse on places like that in a hospital, especially with the mental people, they can get violent and stuff. So I was very popular. So I always got like to work wherever I wanted. People always wanted me. You know, the nurses would always feed me and stuff.
Yeah, dude,
so
I saw your
really
pictures when you were a young kid, man. You look fucking fabulous. Like the one,
thank you.
Like during the Joe Weider time and stuff when he picked you up.
Yeah,
dude.
Joe's
I mean,
incredible.
For me, you're an icon, bro. Yeah, like to look at those pics back in the day on the beach and stuff. Danny, I mean, you're a legend. Like, for me, I know that you probably don't get enough recognition, you know, because of the younger population that's, you know, but they don't really appreciate, you know, the OGs. For them, their hype, that's what really attracts their attention.
Yeah, but what's interesting is the OGs don't even appreciate the OGs as much. I talk to Flex every now and then. I see his pictures on you know, his social media. I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't realize how awesome your physique was. You just look and go, wow. But you were around it. That was my boy. You were just around it. You were so used to it. It wasn't anything. You know what I mean? But then you look back and you go, geez. You know, one of the first shows I did was in Orange County.
Okay.
And that was where Roy Learmeyer and Serge Nubret trained in that area, and Rory was kind of Serge was mentoring Rory for a while, and they actually went and watched the show I did in Orange County, and they both came up to me afterwards, and they invited me to go train with them because, oh, you have so much potential, we like the way you move and everything. I did not even appreciate who they were at the time. I was looking at like the current guys and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, he was in the pumping iron with Arnold, but his physique and everything, and I think the way they trained was pretty intense. They would do high, kind of like the way Milos trains now, Sarcev, like just get that blood in there, just woo woo. But they would go for like 2 hours, and they would drink regular Coca-Cola. There was no pre-workouts back then, just for the glycogen, And I was like, oh, I don't think I like this style of training. So I would miss it all the time.
No shit.
Like, man, yeah, they would always, oh, you didn't show up, and
But some people just enjoy that style, like
that's how he trained, but that's how he stayed lean too.
They get high off of it.
He didn't really do cardio.
Yeah, I mean that's how I like to train. I'll just go nonstop, supersets, drop sets, giant sets, just fucking. I'm going at it,
Yeah.
And I think there's a different pace to it. Like Francis Benfado trains a completely different approach, and Bob Paris, and you can tell by their physique because that approach. I think when you go with high intensity, you have a lot more vascularity. You're harder, leaner, fucking freakier. Rather than when you train, because your body is not like you're not freakish conditioning. You still have that really nice, soft, smooth look to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess it's because you train in a little bit different way.
Yeah, I think, I mean, your body's like a machine. If there's certain, you want to push it because you want to be lazy either. You want to get the full potential out of it. But you don't want to wear it out either. It's a fine line.
Where do you find a middle ground?
You have to find the middle ground. It's true. And
how did you find that? What did you find?
I still haven't found it, to be honest. I know the truth in my heart, what I can do, and I still haven't really done it. It's nice to train with different people's styles because it'll bring it more out of me sometimes, But that's why I'm still excited, because how I look basically is not necessarily because I can't get there. It's because of the lack of the time I put into it. And I know the first one I won, I really put a lot into it. I mean, I literally, with my diet, I was very strict, where I was emotional. It's almost like when you do a fasting or whatever for a long time, you go into this more spiritual, and I haven't had that in so long. And but I did really well, the gains and everything. And the other times I was traveling and stuff afterwards, the other shows I competed after that, I didn't put that kind of work or mental discipline into it. Pushing yourself when you just do not feel like it, where you feel like, oh, you're going to die, and all of a sudden you get this euphoria. But you have to almost go to death to get that. I've felt that a few times. I felt it, wrestling a couple times, push myself to cut weight and do stadiums and stuff. And I was very proud of myself. And that's the thing, is that's really where I really believe bodybuilding, competing, is what everyone needs to experience. If you can really push yourself, regardless of how you place. I got so many trophies and this and that. You can make your own show up and get your own trophies and put it on your wall. That's what it's about. But it's about your personal journey. Every show that I've done, I assess it afterwards, and I could either be disappointed a little bit, even if the result was good, I could be a little disappointed in myself because I could have pushed a little bit more.
You set the higher standard for yourself.
Yeah, and the shows that you might not place as well, but you really went there, in the long run, that's what really builds that strong character in you. And that's where the confidence comes from, true confidence, because fake confidence comes from accolades and trophies that you didn't really earn and know in your soul that you really pushed really yourself.
Good. Makes a lot of sense.
Did you see the difference?
100%. I've been there.
Yeah.
Once you really get to the point where you gave it all, I think you can relate to other people.
Yes.
And I understand what you're saying. I haven't competed much, but I've turned pro naturally, and that took a lot from me to get super lean. So I did black out on a stair mill. Like, I've been through like a really gnarly, all giving prep, like every single ounce of me. I counted steps in the store that I walked fucking to the aisle to grab fucking water. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's about. It's not, when people talk about different federations or pro or not pro or natural or not natural or whatever it is, that's just, you're choosing something that's the end goal. The journey is really why you pick this. It's not about winning this or accomplishing this or getting your pro card or whatever. It's the journey. I said, pick something and take that journey and really see how you can push and change yourself.
It's really hard to accept the journey, bro, because it's a lot of grind.
I know.
You know what I mean? And it
that's what-
takes a certain mindset and certain
with
individual.
with me, I need it, and I've always loved to compete. I care about how I place as long as I wasn't disrespected, But that wasn't the biggest thing. It was about me. Okay, it's time, and a lot of times everything in my life gets structured, and it really aligns everything because now I have structure in my life. Especially when you're in LA and stuff, and you're an entrepreneur, it's very easy to lose structure because you can do kind of what you want. When you want, stuff like that.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
And if you're late, you just blame it on LA traffic. So it's so loosey-goosey out here in LA.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's so,
You're just
everyone
saying
is
it.
so...
I'm recognizing myself. I'm recognizing
dude,
myself. Like,
believe me.
fuck.
Everybody.
You're just fucking, you're relaxed.
But it's that's why it's like sometimes you need to get back and have some type of structure.
Yeah.
Whether it's a photo shoot or something.
Yes,
and it
I
just
agree.
makes you get everything kind of in line. Like maybe usually you'd be 15 minutes. No one cares. It's LA, or whatever. And then then you're actually on time.
You texted me today. Say, hey, I'm running a little
Well,
late.
yeah.
What's running?
But I'm not in prep mode yet. But when you're in prep mode, everything seems to be like more structured. And I really need that because a lot of times it keeps me from procrastinating, and procrastinating is the worst enemy.
It's a fucking parasite, man.
You have to
It's a
evaluate
parasite.
why you procrastinate.
You know what, brother? I just turned 35. I've been procrastinating going to the dentist. I had a fucking trauma since I was a kid, okay? They pulled my teeth without the anesthesia, with the fucking pliers in the dentist, and they used to drill it without fucking anesthesia, If there wasn't anesthesia, bro, my parents used to fucking hold me in place.
Yeah.
And other dentists are holding me in place, and I'm a little kid. That's some scary shit to a kid. It's a trauma when you're going through such an intense pain and they're holding you down, and you're really conscious of what's happening, and they're holding my hand and like, dude, that was fucking.
Wow.
I was scared, man,
Yeah.
and I've been procrastinating.
So it's like you have PTSD.
Something like that, and it's just fuck, dude. I was like, no, man. I'm just, I got to the point. I was like, man, I'm gonna be 35. I got to get serious with my life. I have to pull the skeletons out of the closet. I
Yeah.
think we all have them. I think
Yeah.
we all hide them in there. Just because they keep a certain comfort to us.
Yeah. It's comfort.
I have to fucking go in there and rip the motherfucker out
Yeah.
and just destroy it. So I went to the dentist fucking 3 weeks straight. You know what I mean? To fix everything up, to realign everything up, because I let it go for a long time because I had that. But I figured that once you start pulling those things out, you become free.
Yes.
You start moving forward. You start progressing, because those things make you,
Yeah.
when you have no challenges,
Well,
you're
that's the
not
thing
progressing.
is people are in the comfort zone and they think I have to achieve this to get this. So I have to try to get this job, or I have to try to get this car, or whatever it is, so I can get here. But they don't realize you already have everything you need already. You just need to clean up your stuff here. That's what's going to make you get over here. You don't need more stuff added on that's going to get you there. You need to just clean this up and get this in order, and then you're there. Because that's what's keeping you from going there, not because you don't have something. And then when you have something, that you can get there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Then when did your career as a bodybuilding picked up, and how old were you when you were doing the first show? And then from there, how did you see that? Because I'm really interested in your story with Joe Weider.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fucking fan. I think Joe Weider created even what we're sitting here.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate of his business endeavors. Besides people hating them, and a lot of old school bodybuilders are hating on him, and I've been hearing a lot of negativity because I've been through OGs, you know what I mean, and I could hear that they were sort of really mad at him for not giving them enough or whatnot, and I really would love to hear about Joe, and your relationship with him, and how did everything started for you? Because once I'm looking at the pics in Venice, because I was looking for a picture to post of you once we were doing this camp, so I kind of Googled your name and I went through pictures, so I kind of saw, like the shots at the beach, you know what I mean, in Venice, and like, man, that's iconic,
Yeah, no, thank you. My first competition was in 1988, I believe, and I was still wrestling at the time, and my wrestling coach got me to do it. And because I was, like I was saying, I love the process of getting ready to compete in wrestling, running stadiums. And it was very similar. I had to cut weight and get my body fat, not necessarily get it down, but it came down because I was getting in shape with the diet and everything because I had to cut weight. So it was a very, very similar process. And half of when I wrestled, I enjoyed was, going and tanning and laying out in the sun, that is, and just making sure that I look the part too. And I love the movement of doing the drills before, I like doing it in the mirror because I love the way the body looks in motion. Not, you know what I mean? It's like you build something and it's like a shame if you build an incredible race car and you just sit it in the garage and take pictures. You want to see it perform too.
So sick.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, get in really good shape and have movements that are functional and stuff. And so a lot of times people would just watch me before a wrestling match or even practicing, going through the drills and everything with my shirt off and the short tights.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool. It was like an action figure, moving. And so that's kind of what got me interested in bodybuilding because I went to a bodybuilding show at the time. I think my older brother, David, was an incredible football player, and he had crazy legs. We used to actually call him Tom Platz. And so I knew genetically I can get legs. I just had to train him. I didn't train him as much because I was doing so much running and stuff to cut weight. But the upper body was like serratus, everything is shredded, shoulders and stuff. And so I went with him. I think he was at training Kirk Cameron at the time. The kid was on some sitcom show. Real popular at the time, and he was emceeing it. I don't know how he was involved with bodybuilding, which was cool, a celebrity being involved like that. So I went to a show, and actually Tom Platz was there, and he was giving out trophies, which isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so I watched it, and I watched them come out, and that was still the time where people were into the posing, And so I was like, oh, this is really cool. Remind me a little bit of doing katas in martial arts with wushu, because Chinese martial arts, it's more round. Everything is very round. That's why they use it more in movies, where like Taekwondo and some of the Japanese, Korean martial arts is more square, like Taekwondo. Karate,
Yeah, 100%.
So I love the fluidity of the posing. I was like, whoa, that's almost like martial arts katas. And then they're in shape. That's kind of like what I do in the mirror when I'm getting ready for wrestling, when I'm getting in shape. I really appreciate it. I said,
That's incredible.
That's how I got hooked on it. It wasn't about the size and putting on size because someone kicked sand in my face or whatever. For me, it was purely just the artistic and the movement and the form.
That's what sets you aside from the majority of people, how artsy your physique looks, man. That's crazy that you had that type of approach. That kind of sums up a lot, when people ask you, like, oh, how do you create this?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, it's just a destiny. For some people, it's just destiny, and you cannot go back in time. You can only work that much and that hard. But, from someone like you, they came into the sport there early and realized the artistry of the sport there early because, I didn't fucking know what art was about in bodybuilding until fucking recently. You know what I mean? For me, bodybuilding was weights. And getting big and getting strong and, there was no artistry in it. Of course, you couldn't look at double biceps and you don't look good because you want your arms to be big enough.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't look at it, how your thighs tie in, how your calves tie in, how your waist tie in, how your lats, all that stuff. You don't really care about it, So, and I think that's the difference between someone like you and Francis Benfato and Bob Paris, because I think those people were more artistic. They were not about getting big. And that's also something I wanted to ask you because I love bodybuilding genuinely, but I stopped loving bodybuilding like in the times of I'll start somebody. Like I think, and those times were like sad time. They were
That's when I retired.
This is where it became sad. And I think Lee Haney tied it. That was it after Lee Haney.
Me too.
Lee Haney tied it. And after that, was... Yeah. And you know what, bro? It kind of went up, and now it's fucking down. And you see the quality of the boys now? You can't fuck with Kevin Levrone or Flax Wheeler, bro.
No,
Like
that was my era.
yeah,
That was the standard that I had. I was training with these guys.
when you see
know?
Chris Cormier pumping with Flax,
Yeah,
sight to be seen.
I know.
Sight to be seen. They're tight.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's not pleasant to watch because they're fucking like this in off season. You know,
Yeah.
there are very few dudes that really have that tight waist, and they're very lucky.
Yeah.
You know, with genetics. But to be honest, like I'm not a fan of I like classic physique now.
Yeah.
I think that should be the standard, bro. Like from now on.
Well, at least they changed the shorts now.
Yeah.
I still haven't wore that yet. I'm wearing it the next Olympia, so that's going to be interesting to see how everyone looks because it does change a little bit of
Oh,
of
the
of
flow.
The flow.
That
exactly.
flow, how your quads tie
Yeah.
in, how it brings, and it makes your
Yeah.
your waist look smaller because
Yeah.
it ties it in. So visually, you go whoop. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Even though if it's not that tight,
Yeah.
100%. I brought those shorts. I
Yeah.
did them. I did them first in our show last year that we did in Key West. That you
Yes.
were there, but it wasn't the day of the show. We did it like in August, and I put it together in the strip club, you know, and they gave us the stage and everything. That was our show. It was really funny.
Oh, cool.
But it was cool and it was very camaraderie, and I kind of wanted to do those shorts because they really resembled
Yes.
the old school, you know. And then to see him in classic physique at school,
Yeah.
I'm really, you know what? That's something I wanted to ask you, man. Do you think it's gonna kind of get ruined too? Because like if you look at the patterns, you know, of the sport, like if you look at the bikini girls when they started and the bikini girl right now, it's just fucking, you know. And same goes
Yeah.
for like man's physique. When I competed and where the guys are at now, those guys should be in classic physique.
Yeah.
Like all of them, and
Yeah.
actually they fucking look great.
They do.
They fucking look
know.
great. The guy that won Olympia, Brandon, you know, to fucking superb physique.
Upper bodies.
Yeah,
from the
I used to
front
compete
is-
with him, bro. I used to compete with him at the first show, the men's physique in Rockford. He won that show and I placed fourth, and then I qualified to go to the nationals, and I placed second in nationals. I think he placed something different, and then I won the universe, and this is when I turned pro. But I kind of had the same coach with him when I was training for the for the show in New Jersey. So I really looked at his progress too. But he had the potential from the get-go. Like I remember his physique back then. You could tell that this guy's got it. You know, you can
Yeah.
just look at someone really early in their career and say, okay, this dude has it. You know, like it's just a matter of time until he really, you know, blows up. And
Yeah.
and looking at him, and like same thing, you know, I met Keon on Instagram a long time ago too, and I knew that guy is gonna do it, you know, and I actually signed him, but he went and signed with another company next day. I think he didn't read the contract, and for some reason I just I don't tolerate that. You know what I mean? Like you could call me and say, "Hey man, there is another clothing company that's offering me this." You know what I mean? And I always, aside from that, I always knew that kid is fucking stacked. I think if he's getting a little bigger, he's gonna be a little bit off. I think he's gonna lose the classic. He's already stacked for his frame. He's a short dude, you know. But I feel like that's the type of physique that I would love to see.
Yeah.
And what do you see yourself this coming Olympia?
You know, it's crazy to say. People are, oh, you should always say you're going to win. I mean, there's still about 4 months left, but the changes I really want to see, I think it's not going to happen till the next Olympia. And my body's still progressing, so I'm very confident in that. You know, injuries a little here and there, but nothing that will keep me from focusing on what I need
You
to
have no
do.
injuries right now.
I have my shoulder and my knee.
What's wrong with your shoulder?
It's only happened in the last 6 months. It's popping a little bit in certain areas. But I know if I actually keep my posture and don't sleep on it, because hunching over is one of the worst things for it. You know, we talked about that. So I know it's manageable as long as I'm very proactive with it. But as far as everything else, the way my body responds to training, food, you know, supplements.
Bro, you look full
It's-
as fuck even right now.
Yeah,
But you're
and
always
I'm
like
still,
that.
Yeah, actually, I was taking a little bit of break, but I keep myself at a certain standard if someone wants to hire me to do stuff. And that's the thing, you know, is I want to really influence people. So I don't want to show up and take someone's money, based on my credentials. I want to show them now, the people that are there, so they can appreciate it, not look at pictures of me a long time ago type of thing, you know? So I always try to stay in striking distance. If someone calls for a photo shoot or whatever.
That's fucking lifestyle, brother.
I try to, yeah, and I enjoy it.
100%.
I enjoy keeping a certain standard so you can influence people that don't even know you. Because like I always say, you are your business card, you know? And it's such a travesty. I see some of these young guys and they get in shape for a show and they get out of shape. And I'm thinking, you live in Southern California, you're in your 20s. What excuse do you have not to be in shape? You're not going to be a mass monster, so why are you sitting half-assed? Because those are the times when things pop up. If you're already ready, the opportunity will come. Don't let the opportunity get there and you have to get ready for it.
You know why? That's what I'm telling my guys, right? And they think that I'm being an asshole and I'm telling them what to do. I was like, bro, this is your time. The window in bodybuilding is so short. If you're already in shape, you have a great look. You got to keep that up. You know, like, there's no fucking... You're using that as an excuse to slack. Oh, I'm going to off-season. Like, bro, there is no off-season. It's always on, you know? And unfortunately, many dudes don't understand that because they feel like that's what it takes because that's an old formula. Oh, you got to go fucking eat everything. No, bro. It's first of all, it's a fucking unhealthy. This is unhealthy. It's bad for you. It's going to affect the way you think, the way you fucking perform at the gym. It just... Your digestion, you're slow, you're sleepy, you're stupid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you live in a fog.
Well, that's interesting you say that because it's more than just physically how you look, but mentally it does make a difference.
Huge.
That's why I was saying part of the reason I love to choose a show or something to get ready for, because of the mental aspect of it, because it gives you structure and it gives you clarity and you're pushing, and it just creates a whole different aura and energy about you. You know, and because we're all made of chemistry. That's all we are. It's just chemical reactions to things. Even your thoughts changes your chemistry, which will change your thoughts. So you got to start with your thoughts first, and it just keeps going. You know, every time you hear a negative thought, I always think of it as maybe I didn't get enough sleep, maybe some food I ate, because I always contribute to negativity. Because if you are overwhelmingly positive and doing positive things with your nutrition, your sleep, your stress level, it's going to affect you where you don't get discouraged or bothered by little negative thoughts. Because I always think those are the desserts or the bad things. Those are the negative thoughts that come in your head from the things that you didn't do, maybe get enough sleep. So if you can kind of get that in line, just think of it that way as far as an analogy, then it really helps a lot. Because a lot of people think negative thoughts and this and that, they think it's because of them. Like, oh, I didn't do this, and it might be from guilt. But if you think of it as your lifestyle and how you live, then it takes it away from you, and then it's not as personal, you know, and so you can control it better. So if you have a negative thought that I can't do this, I go, okay, that doesn't mean anything. That negative thought got in there because I didn't have the discipline in something. Okay, let's get more sleep. Let's train a little bit harder. Let's, you know, get your nutrition a little bit on track.
When does lifestyle transform to you in making a living, Danny? Like when did you start making a living of bodybuilding?
And that's the thing, being fortunate to be here in LA, you know, the land of, you know,
of dreams, man.
Of dreams.
But they come true.
But it's the grind that people don't see. It's the 20-year overnight success that people don't see. You know, and you can easily lose it too, and you can easily gain it back. That's why I love being here. That struggle going up and down with all my friends are entrepreneur, celebrities and stuff. I see them when they're broke, but they're famous still. And people, they think because you're famous, you're killing it. You know, that's not the case.
No.
A lot of them don't manage their money rights, pro athletes and stuff. They could be famous, but they don't know that they're borrowing a car from a producer that's their friend or some of their teammates or whatever.
100%. And people think I'm rich. I'm fucking not, dude. I'm a grinder, bro. I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
And my people like in Russia, they see me and they're like, oh, motherfucker, you made it. You're rich. No, bro. The only thing I made for myself, I live a little better life than I lived in Russia. But I am still hustling. Like, I'm still hustling so hard. I got this rant, like, by fucking God bless, you know what I mean? Like, I got really lucky to get to be living where I'm living, but other people don't know, and they think like, yo, you're the big shit.
But I enjoy that. For me, being successful is not necessarily material things because, oh, you got the newest iPhone. People go, oh, shit, no one has that. You got it. Give it a year, everyone has it, and they want the new thing. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's about the relationships.
100%.
That's where you're successful and you're rich.
Yeah.
My Rolodex, I really feel that is a big part of my confidence and why a lot of people, how would you say, respect from that. And I try not to alienate myself because, like people are very divisive. There's people that don't like you. You don't like other people and stuff. And I always try to be where I always have a common, how would you say, camaraderie with different people of different types. And I can kind of go anywhere with anybody. And if they choose not to like me because I'm associating with someone else, then you know what? That's cool. I hope they get over it because this world is made of connections. Even my enemies, if someone did something to me and I could try to get them back right away or whatever, but to me it's just, okay, cool. Now I understand maybe they're in a bad time that they did that. I don't try to judge them personally at the time because maybe they could change or take it personally. I just say, okay, cool. Well, I learned a lesson. I'm just going to do better. I'm going to let them know that I didn't appreciate it, but we can be cool. I don't have to diss you. You don't have to diss me. We just respect each other. Because obviously we were friends at one time for a reason, but right now it's not the time. And I let them know, that it wasn't cool. And a lot of times they're very surprised. And then I just try to do my best because the best way to get them back is be successful.
100%.
And the more successful you are, they realize that they kind of screwed you and you were very respectful to them still. It makes them feel even worse.
Yes, exactly.
So rather than trying to hit them and they hit you back, and now you're just muddying up everybody's names.
Yeah, but that type of thing comes with age, bro.
It does. But I honestly, like I said, I grew up in an environment where there was different types of people. Normally they would kill each other, but I learned how to be neutral. Because I had a common interest with each one of them, and a lot of it came from fitness.
And Daniel, dude, you're super connected, bro. Every time I see you,
that's the thing is,
a lot of celebrities.
Like, people, it's not because I have like monetary wealth. I pay my bills. I'm good with that. I don't have to do a job or anything I don't feel comfortable doing. So, I'm married, beautiful wife, no kids. So we have a lot of freedom, a lot of things to
enjoy.
To enjoy life without having to really compromise, And that's the thing is I try to keep relationships because if that person that did something to me and I'm cool with it, guess what? If I go for something, connection or another person that I know, I'm trying to do some business with, and then they know this person, if I was, not cool with that person because they did it to me because I wanted to get them back, they could easily say, oh, that guy, you don't want to work with him. But they'll never say that because they don't have a right to say it. They say he was respectful and go, yeah, he's got integrity. It didn't work out what we did, but he's cool. And that has always, I've heard it from backstories from other people. And I've never really lost things because of that. Because the world is very small.
Did you learn that from Joe Leader?
Small. No, not really. He was an interesting guy. And I didn't appreciate him as much back in the day as far as like, just his whole impact on the industry. Because, like I said, I was around with a lot of celebrities and stuff. And I actually had a contract with Weeder right off the bat when I was still an amateur. Because they wanted kind of like a men's physique type, because it was more marketable and stuff. So I would always get hired to do like the fit kid. And then they would put me with like Vince Taylor or something, and we'd do like different training things. I've shot with Lou Ferrigno back in the 90s, and some of them probably don't even remember. But if I could find some of these videos, like I did the Joe Weider 100 rep system, and it had almost like a pre-workout and a post-workout with it, and it was a 100 rep system. And I showed up because I was really shredded, and they were supposed to just use me for a little bit of it. They kept me for the whole thing. It was almost my video at the end of it. And then because they had Lou Ferrigno, Vince Taylor, so many names, top guys at the time in that video. And I was supposed to be just one of like, you can start and you can do it and make gains and, with these guys. And they kept me in the whole video. and they were in it. And so after that point, Joe signed me to do all the equipment. I had like 5 pages in Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazine, every single issue for like 5 years, because I would do all their home equipment. I was on all the boxes and stuff that was on like Big Fives and all the sporting goods stores, you know. And it was interesting because that stuff could barely hold your body weight up, but they would put the fake plates on there.
Yeah.
You know, and I
That's
would
where
do photo shoots.
That's where it started.
Yeah, I would do the photo shoots and it would come out so nice, you know. So I was always in the magazines and stuff. So it kind of really gave me a boost in, like, I guess my social media at the time, which we didn't have. You know, it gave me that kind of status. And then, of course, competing and training the celebrities. I was out in training at Gold's Gym, so I would always see.
Who was like the
everyone
baddest
rolling
celebrity
through.
you ever trained?
In which way?
I mean, even for yourself, like
Get
you
in
probably
trouble with the cops or the,
no,
the
just
acting?
like
Or-
like just like.
Well, one
you-
time I have to say I trained Dennis Rodman, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Mickey Rourke at the same time.
That's it.
I had
You
them
can't
doing
fuck with that.
supersets, biceps and triceps, and they were just going in a circle.
That's so fucking sick,
Yeah.
bro. That's insane.
I wish we would have had phones back then.
Right, dude.
Yeah.
That's viral content.
Yeah,
You
that was
know,
when
to
Dennis
pump
was
some arms
wild.
with
He used to
Jean-Claude.
have. He used to have the parties at his house in Manhattan Beach.
Mm-hmm.
The city actually kicked him out.
Dude, the guy's wild.
He had crazy. I had my friend
dude is wild.
set up. My friend set up all the cameras in his house, so he would throw parties, and that was when the internet just kind of first started. And he would put the parties of his house online. It was really cool. He had some crazy parties.
Dude, I can't even imagine, bro.
Yeah.
That guy is. I mean, he got swag for days. And going to North Korea to hang out with.
I know.
That's fucking you. That's
I know.
That's insanely cool, bro. And
Yeah,
it-
that's a life, definitely.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some people would never experience that high. And for me, it's very motivating, man, when I look up to those people and like even talking to you right now and having a touch with you because you know those people, it's already inspiring to me because I believe in energy and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And-
that's the beauty, especially now too. They always used to say 6 degrees of separation, which means there's always a connection to someone because of the way people are connected to these people. And I found it, for me, it was really true. That's why I always used to joke I could train the president right now if I really, really went after it and gone after it to do it. So there's really, even like North Korea, I was joking, I can train, I should try to see if I could train Kim, you know, which would be cool. And it's actually a possibility. It really gave me the confidence that anyone
Dude, I think you absolutely should do it, and I think Dennis can put it together. It's gonna
I might be
Hey, you're gonna make fucking news.
if I say something wrong, I might be missing for 20 years.
you're gonna make it news, bro.
Yeah.
You'll be a cartoon, dude. They don't see people like you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You don't see bodybuilding. in
Well,
North
they don't see
Korea.
anything like me over there.
No, North
I mean,
Korea
they
is
get
like
nothing.
They don't, and it's weird how they're keeping their population under control that way because they didn't want you to train or practice anything.
Well, you know what they're doing now is they're sneaking in the what are those called? The flash drives
into people.
into North Korea, so they can see what really is going on in the world.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just like a long time ago they used to sneak the Bibles into China, you know, but China's opened up so much; it's not even really like that. I'm going actually to China next month.
Dude, that's amazing. China is such an emerging market. You know,
It's really cool. It's huge.
Yeah.
I went to India last couple of years.
you could see that they're getting excited for it. You know,
Yes.
like the Asians love bodybuilding.
they're very
It's-
disciplined.
yes.
They're very
There's some
studious,
Chinese
too.
guys that I follow on Instagram.
Yeah. I have to say, the Russians and the Chinese are perfectionists. When they do stuff, they are. I mean, the focus.
The Germans, bro.
Unbelievable.
To me,
Not anymore. No.
you don't think so? To me, because like the Nazi,
I look at sports now.
The Nazi Germans were fucking really focused, man. I mean, they made a fucking huge breakthrough in science, you know. And
That's different.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just talking about the people in
I
general.
wouldn't say Russians are perfectionists because I'm from Russia, and bro, I mean, we have a great work ethic.
That's what I'm talking
You know,
about.
like really good work ethic. That's, you know, even like talking right now to you, man. I just love work, man. You know, I love to grind.
I mean, you look at like the Russian dancers, the ballerinas,
Mm-hmm.
fighters.
Precise.
Just the training and the focus they have is just amazing. Like I'm friends with Oksana, and the amount of like work, and she's retired, and she still puts the work in, and she's
She's a
still
legend,
perfecting
bro.
stuff.
I think Oksana, she's a fucking legend.
and she's
She's a
such a
legend.
sweetheart. You know, she's a big
Absolutely.
big influence as far as motivation for me and stuff. And it's just like I love
How old is she
the
now?
discipline. No, I don't want to ever misquote a woman's age.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah,
But I just curiosity just to, bump up her status because I think she's been doing it for a very
I
long
think she's
time.
in Russia, or she just came back from Russia, and she invited me. She says now she's gonna try to talk to some people to get me out there.
Do
That
you
would be
know
cool.
what? I think Russian market is ready. I think Russian market is hungry.
Yeah.
Russian market loves American and Western stuff because they're more and more get secluded, bro. Like no
Yeah.
lie, no lie. Russia is really kind of like building walls. Like they're friends
Again.
with they're like friends with India or Iran or like Venezuela, but you want to be friends with, France and Germany, like
But it's
really the
Well,
countries
especially
of the
now because the world is such one world with
yes
everything.
and now they're going to be cutting internet in 2020, certain ways. So I think it's just it's going back to like the same communism type of thing, as it is in North Korea in a way, and it's sad. I mean, I think if you look at the world, every single third country world has a monarch, like a one leader in power. Every single, like in Africa and all those countries, there's only one guy in charge. The same thing in because there is no democracy, and democracy is freedom, and freedom is choice. In those countries, there's no choice. In Russia, bro, there is no choice for Putin. There's nobody else. There can be nobody else.
Just like China. He
So,
just what did he just decree himself basically president for life?
and that's what's gonna happen in Russia. That's gonna happen.
It already has. He
You
just
know,
hasn't let
and I
everyone
say
know.
that with the most respect to the president. I think he's, done a lot of great things for Russia. But I think in order to take it to completely different world, is to raise the fucking standard for thinking, which is democracy. Democracy is a sign of a free
Well,
world.
the irony is that those guys they know that, but they don't want to lose their power.
No.
But themselves, personally, are very progressive. They're all very progressive.
Oh, Putin is the fucking man, dude. The most influential
MMA.
motherfucker in the world.
Yeah, dinner with Mickey Rourke out there. Mickey fought. He loves fighting MMA. Just
No, I love him I love him as a character, dude. But in terms of the the outer politics for Russia, I think that's why we started a Russian channel now, and dude, people love American stuff. They love LA. It's a dream world. Venice, California, the beach, they all see a beautiful, blue skies and the palm trees and mussels, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. California is the shit. You know what I mean? Like anybody that's in any, I guess, parts of the world besides Russia that sees California. Because when I saw, like, you probably don't appreciate California as much as I do, bro. Because I come from a very cold environment with no sea and no mountains and nothing. And like when I'm here, bro, I cry. When I'm in Santa Monica in Venice and I'm looking at the sunset, I cry, man. I get so happy, bro. Fuck. This is the dream,
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of Russian people, when you come there, dude, plus your physique, like Russian genetics is not the same. We have very wide hip, You see like big Russian dudes, they're really like, they can get shredded, but they're still wide. There is no artistry, and there is no artistry in the culture of bodybuilding in Russia. There is no art. That's what I said. That's the school I come from. Heavy bangers, heavy steroid abusers, heavy eaters, big, 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 big. That's the route. That even like the bodybuilders in Russia, and then you go to Europe and you go to America. There's 3 different categories.
Yeah.
Like people that compete in Spain and Italy and Greece. They have one look, and people that come from Russia and the Eastern Bloc has completely different look. And I like Europeans, bro. There's a lot of good European bodybuilders that's out there. They don't get to compete as much here. But that bodybuilding looks a little bit more aesthetic to me. I think the guy that just won the Arnold Classic looks really good. The one that's overseas. Was he in South Africa? I think, was it?
oh yeah,
That guy looks good.
Yeah.
And he's has like more of a European type of look. I appreciate that a lot. For some reason, see like the difference. What you see on Olympia, it's just there's a fucking certain look to it.
yeah.
At the Olympia Open class, there's a certain look to it, and it looks so different from like a hard look. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. That's what I don't appreciate anymore about the sport as much. I look at the European bodybuilding, and I was like, man, that's actually there more than here for some reason. I don't know what it is, and that's something I also wanted to ask you, because you're so deeply involved into the circle of bodybuilding and IFBB and the whole scene. What do you see is changing within the sport? Like, what do you see that's, I mean, because obviously this Olympia is not going to be stacked in any way, is it?
Well, I mean, there's always rumors and stuff, you know. Some people even say Phil's going to come back because he's starting to train. Because he is starting to train. He's starting his prep already. But I think he's been just doing so many years. That's just in his nature. Just to kind of, like I say, he probably needs structure.
Because he had surgery, right?
Yeah, he had surgery a while ago.
Okay.
But I think he's just doing because he's used to it. I mean, he's won it seven times.
Yeah, but how funny that he started competing and now nobody really cares. Like,
oh, when he's done?
Yeah. Like, if he's, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to get out the window really quick.
Yeah, it is.
You know, especially when you get over the hill and then you're not really appreciative or charismatic towards the fans.
Well, that's a big...
You
I
know
think that has more to do. There's guys that never won the Olympia that are people love.
Yeah, Kai Green is one of them, you know, and this is my personal favorite too, you know. And even though, bro, we were talking about it before, I think, like, Phil kind of developed that, because, you know, it's very hard to stay really positive and genuine when people are fucking hating on you all the time and you have to be fighting off. And you have to be fucking, you know, when people always telling you you're a piece of shit and you're an asshole, you don't look good enough on the internet, you kind of develop a certain agenda towards this people, you know, you become this fucking, you kind of have a shield.
To a certain degree, I think, and I got affected. When I won the Classic Olympia, the first one, for 2 weeks after, I was depressed. It was almost like what they call postpartum, when a woman has a baby, they get very depressed right after. And because my social media went up so fast, I wasn't ready for it, and I was like I was texting, fighting everyone, because you get as many people hating on you as people giving you love. Well, let's just say, you know, and I probably had the lowest social media compared to all the young guys. You know, some of them had like over 1 million followers. So guess what? If I beat them, all their followers are going to come attack me. I didn't really realize that. I kind of took it personally, like, you know, they were saying, oh, this and that, you should win. I was like, whoa.
Makes you doubt yourself, huh?
Oh my gosh. And then I did right after I won, I did a video interview with Rich Piana. He had a huge social media.
Yeah, rest in peace, bro. He was the man.
Fuck. Yeah, they invited me to the funeral. His girlfriend actually said a lot of nice things that he said about me. I didn't know.
No, dude, he was a good dude, bro. Cool. Like, aside from all bullshit, inside Rich... Yeah. Was the fucking good dude, man. Like, you could sit down with that guy and the guy's gonna listen to you. Besides whatever he fuck had going on with his life, and, you know, he was genuine, and that's that you. Could
and a lot of times, sometimes people surround themselves with people that like to create drama too, and that has a lot to do with it. And then they associate the people around them as part of their persona.
I think he enjoyed it. He enjoyed all of that shit.
It was because of them.
Yeah, and Rich.
Well, he had to.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, I think there were some things that really weighed heavy on him, because no one could take that. Because, well, my point is, when I went on his interview, I literally got like 700,000 views overnight, and I was reading all of it, and I was like,
oh my god, it's hard.
I text Rich and said, bro, I am never going on your interviews again. I was like, oh my gosh, they ate me up. He's like, he laughed. He's like, oh, bro, you should see the stuff that I get.
Dude, I would go on his page just to read comments, because
my god,
they were artsy. There's some motherfuckers who were smart as, and they were funny. You know what I mean? He created a whole subculture. There was like a Rich Piano Facebook page. They were like all these memes and stuff.
I would say more than half were haters, but they built his following. But they still follow him. They probably bought his stuff.
Yes, they built him up. He went huge.
I just didn't understand that, because I was never part of that world. You know, I'm an older generation, so even me right now, like you were saying, content. I need to put out more content. I need to really focus on that. I'll go to event. I go to so many cool things people would love to be at. I don't film one thing. At the end of the day, I'm going, shoot, I got to call this person and see if I can get that picture. Because it's always from someone else's phone or something. No,
bro, you have to.
I just totally forget.
You have to have, at this
like
age,
how you picked up your camera and did that. Yeah. Or I go, oh, shoot, I should do that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You don't want. Yeah, do it.
Because I'll be driving home. I'm like,
do it.
my wife will call me. She says, "Send me something." I said, "I don't have anything."
But Danny, you know one thing is like, you have to be you about it. You know,
No, I know.
You know, you have to be you about, and you're just.
But I need to make it a habit too.
Yeah. Once you make it a habit, and once you learn that
Then you get more comfortable.
Okay, this is your connection with people.
I know.
You're just connecting with people. That's it. That's all you do. You documenting your life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you have to be calm about it, spontaneous about it, and real.
I get kind of thrown out of the moment trying to figure out, like right now, how to turn the damn camera. Should I do my story live? Should I do it in video? Should I just do the regular camera video so I could do something?
You just pull up your stories. Okay, look, watch. All right. Hey everybody! Today I'm doing a very first video for Danny Hester. He's gonna. Oh no! Hold on. We're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna pass it to you. I'm gonna pass it to you. Yo everybody, this is Danny Hester. I'm the very first Mr Olympia in Classic Physique. I'm just pretending to be No, this is your first video,
Okay.
Danny. Let me introduce you, Danny Hester.
And I'm Artemus.
This is you're gonna be. You keep recording.
All right.
You're the host of your life, okay? Danny, you're the
we're
host.
recording right now?
Yeah, like you're
Well,
the
I don't
host.
got much time left. You'll only get like
That's
40
fine. No, it's fine.
Should I
It's gonna
start
keep.
it
It's
again?
gonna keep recording. That's
All right.
You're the host. You're the host of your life, Danny. And that's it. And that's it.
All right, everybody. I'm here with Artemis. We're doing a podcast.
I'm very happy because Danny is OG. He is true OG in bodybuilding and life, and it's someone I really happy to learn from. This guy is the man. Is the fucking king of classic physique.
That's right. Classic.
Until you retire,
Steve
you will be the
Reeves.
best.
And Rockstar. You tired, Rockstar? He's waiting to get some interesting stuff. He's like, why don't you tell him the real stories?
Really? Dude, let me save it to you now. And you're gonna get some haters there too.
Yeah.
This fuck.
That's
dude.
what we were just talking about.
Yeah, but
That's the
Danny,
segue.
Danny, I was gonna say that.
But they're always good to be haters.
You should really focus on documenting your shit and sharing with people what you eat, how you eat it, how you cook that motherfucker. Because, man, you have, like, that's the name of the game, okay? That's the fucking name of the game. And the more you resist that shit, the more you miss out. You know what I mean?
I worry about the stupidest, and like we were talking about earlier, that's probably not the reason. I need to go in and really find out what the reason is. Because sometimes I want to do a post with some products or something. I said, man, let me clean the kitchen first. I want to make it look nice. And then I end up not even doing it. So
you're a fucking procrastinator.
Well, and
that's what it is. You're a fucking
I know.
bodybuilder in heart. That's what it is, dude. This
and the LA bodybuilder, which is even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
You know, Danny, dude. As I said, I will help you with the content, because dude, you have the physique of the fucking god, and at 50 years old, this is a goal for absolutely anybody. For absolutely anyone. And I just to give people a perspective of how you keep it and how you do it and how you prevent injuries. Bro, like, you know what, man? I think today it became a lot easier to make money with the sport of bodybuilding. That's I think Joe Weider would be out of business. I mean, in a way.
No, you're right.
He would be
absolutely right.
He would be in the realm of Instagram. Trust me, Joe Weider would fucking take over Instagram bodybuilding.
Possibly, but if you look at Muscle and Fitness, they're owned by a big company. They're still behind, dude.
Yeah, they're not investing in social media enough.
Sean Ray just took over. He's now going to be working with them.
Mm-hmm.
So he works with them now.
You know, I think those companies very progressive. They didn't catch up with dude. You know why?
They think it's about the celebrities.
No,
all
bro.
they were putting on were celebrities and the pro wrestlers on their covers. They need to go back and put athletes and people in social media too. You know, athletes.
You know what, Danny? Listen, man. Just, you're an OG, but I'll give you advice as a younger generation a little bit. Bro, you have so much to give. You have so much to share. You have so much knowledge. You have so many stories, so many experiences. Bro, just fucking share it. And that's it. And as I said, I will help you. I will help you with the footage, and I will help you with the videos. I will help you with the pics. Because as I said, bro, like, you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't show it, you know what I mean, in a very quality way. And today, bro, everything is about marketing. You could see on Instagram, bro, like the guys have no physiques, but they're selling fucking training plans, and they fucking just been through one prep, and they're already all of a sudden coaches and stuff. It's just so saturated with fucking people that just gonna take your money and won't teach you a fucking dime. You know what I'm saying? And you are, as an OG, you are sort of have a responsibility to really share yourself, you know. With I just talked about Paris, by the way. I just talked about Paris. It's very hard to get a hold of him. He's a very interesting guy, dude. You probably know that, you know. But his name keeps getting brought up all the time because of terms of his physique and stuff, you know. But he resists so much this generation, you know what I mean? Because he's so stuck still back in that reel, you know, of the sport. And I think you're probably a little bit still there too.
A little bit.
Yeah, you know.
But I also come from a time where I've worked with a lot of wealthy and famous people.
I can imagine.
And
dude.
part of why they liked hiring me is because I don't talk about their business. I don't want to take pictures or ask pictures. It's like, that's their life. I'm involved with it. I'm there for what I need to do. And a lot of times, because they really like me, just about everybody, other than outside of training them, they always invite me to stuff. Then I start becoming more friends. And I would always, like I say, I have a very strong network because I know so many people.
100%.
But people would want to meet this person, and he's a famous person, wants to meet this person that he hears, and I train both of them. I will never tell what this person is doing and this person is doing to each other. If they want to tell each other, that's cool. So I've always been good at that, and that's why part of me, it's kind of hard to like kind of open up. It's almost like it feels weird, you know. But like, you know, I train one of my clients, Ty Lopez, and he's all about social media. But I go to his house and I feel weird to say, hey, I'm at Ty's house, and he might walk in and I feel weird, like I shouldn't be videotaping his house or something. But then he'll laugh and he goes, nah, man, and he'll do it for me like you were doing. And it's like, I gotta realize this is totally different now.
Bro, accept the world.
The celebrities want you to get their stuff out.
Accept the world. You see all the actors, everybody's. That's it, dude. We are transitioning in a new reality, dog. If you're not transitioning, you're fucking left behind and you struggle, you know, with yourself.
Yeah.
I know for a fact, let's say, like, there's just, I think it's a certain segment of, you know, of people that really have to be sucked into it. I want to be at the point where I'm using the social media. I'm using it. You know what I mean? I'm not just getting my consciousness in it and I'm just consuming all the time. I'm creating. You know what I mean? That's the difference, dude. You know what I'm saying? From that perspective, you have to look at it from that perspective. You look at it from a perspective of a tool. You know, this is the instrument to connect with people, to market myself, to position myself, to connect with people, you know what I mean? And learn something, share something, being very genuine, sincere, but then you still have your own mission, you still your own goal, you know, because you have to make money, because that's your job. What you're doing every day in social media is your job. Like, that's your job.
Is.
And you have to take it and you have to be the best at it. The best quality content, the best quality. That's going to set you aside. There's so many fucking beautiful guys and dudes out there with great physique writing some motivational crap. That's all the same. All the same. But the people that truly make a change, the people that are genuine and sincere in their experiences, they don't sit there and try to create certain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think when you genuinely share your life, like, bro, like, it goes both ways, right? Like, I put up my stuff every day, I share with people in my life, and that automatically motivates me to keep moving. Every day cardio, everyday job, everyday factory. I'm in a fucking very high dynamic. You know what I mean? That's what I can really truly appreciate the Instagram as well, you know, social media, because it motivates me to keep moving. You know what I mean? Even if you have to fake something, you still have to get up and do things and not just fucking chill. You know what I mean? Because that's what majority people do, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't have the fucking, you know, the craziest look and all that. But man, I'm a hustler, man. I'm just gonna out hustle everybody. You know, I love to wake up. I love to grind. I get high. Just fucking go at it 2:30 in the morning. You know, I get high off work. And I think it's the both way when you really use Instagram in the right way. When you're not just, sometimes I woke up today and the first thing I do, I swipe through Insta and I'm thinking like, why I'm watching this feed, man? I shouldn't be watching the feed. I should be creating the feed. You know? And that's the, if you approach it like that, man, you will succeed. You know, you will succeed.
And sometimes, just my nature, it's like, if I can't be the best, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'll just wait for whatever's next. You know, so I think that's a problem. But then I see people just starting it, and all of a sudden they're doing well. I'm like, oh, I started before them. I have to tell myself, no, it's not too late.
No.
I get embarrassed a lot of times because I influence influencers. And these guys that I work with for relationships, connections, to help train them or whatever, they have millions of followers, and they're asking me to do stuff with them. But my own personal, it's like they look at it and goes, whoa, that's all you have? And I was like, yeah. You know, they said, you should have millions. I said, I know.
Well, that's because
I got to get it out
you
there.
know, well, dude, while you're still in it.
Yes.
You're an OG, you know, and like I think you flying in to doing the camp, you know, I'm not really big yet or whatnot, but it still gives you a little bit more exposure. Then you go to do the seminar for Zane, it gives you exposure. You got into this podcast, it gives you exposure. You collect that exposure, man, and you direct it towards something, you know, towards certain product, which is you and your training programs, your training routines, your books on nutrition, because that's what you should be doing. Just start writing stuff and sharing. Dude, this is priceless experience. People sell bogus programs and make millions of dollars. And you're sitting out on a lifetime of experience with everything, with supplements. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things, you should be really educating people, because you know who fucking wins? A motherfucker that abuses drugs and he gets millions of followers and millions of views. And that's what influences younger kids to do it the wrong way, because that's what they see. They're not exposed, you know, to the right information. And me doing those interviews, man, talking to OGs like Danny Padilla or Francis Benfato, dude, that knowledge that I'm soaking in, that makes a difference in my life. You know what I mean?
No, and you're absolutely right, because I never really let bodybuilding affect me as far as my placings and stuff, because it's always going to be my family, it's always going to be my home. No matter if I'm retired or not retired or whatever, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing. And that's why people are, are you ever going to announce you retire? I said, no, because I'm never going to retire. 10 years from now, if I want to do a show, I'll do a show. But I can't see myself, I'm retired. I mean, what does that mean? Because I have more to offer than just bodybuilding, fitness. There's just so much that's related. But fitness and bodybuilding is the core of what everything that I accumulate in the experiences have to do with. I get the privy to everything because of fitness and bodybuilding and what I've achieved too, and because of the way I'm looking still. So without this, I always have to make sure keep this in shape and take care of yourself first, and everything else comes around it.
And then you're an exception to the rules, because people in your age are not marketable anymore and they don't have your look, and your body still looks fucking spot
I think it hasn't. I haven't gotten to my best. I really
don't fucking do it, man.
You know what's interesting, Artemis, is this classic thing was what I was, and I won, and then it's kind of changing. More competitions coming back up, you know, and so it's like, okay, I need to step it up, and I get these thoughts that I never really had because I've achieved such a high. It was like winning the Oscars in our sport, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, what next? All you can go, and I think part of it, I just got a little bit depressed. Is like just down, or you got to keep it. And that was a lot of pressure for myself and I finally let that go. You know, it feels so much more free, because the thoughts I had of how am I going to keep it? What do I need to do? Keep stepping it up. Literally, I was thinking about, let's experiment with new anabolics and see what else, and see what the doses I can go higher to see how it's going to affect me. I couldn't believe I was thinking that way. I'm thinking, if I would have thought that way, which a lot of young guys did like 20 years ago, I would be done. I would look like crap right now. You see what I mean? So that's a lot of people.
When did you start? When did you got into
19.
using? 19?
Yeah.
What do you think? That's fucking not a good age to start. Do you think so?
It's not a good age to start, but luckily we didn't have anything back then. You know what I started on? Anavar. That's like, people can claim they're natural on Anavar right now. And back then they only made it in 2.5 milligrams, a little pill.
But that shit was fire though.
It was definitely real. I mean,
what you get right now is bogus.
Like,
fuck. You don't even know if it's fucking
true.
Vinny or if it's what is it? What is that? You know what I mean?
Good point. So you really knew, and I think that's part of why I was.
And you know what I've learned, bro? You know what I've learned? I've learned that your natural test back in the day, like 80s and 70s, were higher than the natural test now.
Yeah.
You know, it was like 1,500, and now it's 700, and now they're still bringing it down to 400 as an average fucking test. That's fucking low as shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why a lot of people think, oh, those guys were induced. No, they were just naturally fucking test was just higher. You know what I mean? And when you drop a little bit, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And now, you know, the food, the environment, everything is different than even from your era.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when you had stuff that was a little bit not as prevalent, you kind of stuck to just the basics.
Danny, you know what? I was gonna get back into the supplement thing because that's where I want to get the most of your opinion. Do you believe that not going into like, well, a question I had about, you know, bridging, because it became like such a big thing, you know, when you compete and stuff, isn't it something that hasn't been done during the old school bodybuilding, like during the, let's say, Kevin Levroni? Because for me, that's the standard for the physique. I mean, when it comes down to open bodybuilding, if you want to talk big boys, that's the guy right there. Do you think that were they doing things differently for what the guys do now? Like the approach towards going year round, and then your personal approach, and that's why you kind of decided to stay behind, because you knew you had to up the stuff?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's the thing is there's a certain point where it's forced, and it's because you make gains as you're starting, right, in your fitness journey. And then there's a point where the gains aren't going to come as much. And most people are expecting those gains to come with the same amount of stuff, or even if with nothing, as when they were coming up. But there's a point where you're going to plateau for a lot longer. The higher the level you get, the longer the plateau is. But the guys don't want to wait it out. So it's what I call forced induced fitness.
Okay.
And that's what shortens your life, and that's what makes you look old, and it gives you a totally different look than a fresh look. You have to, no matter how long it takes, the gains will come. You just got to ride it out. You know what I mean? You can experiment and play with different things, but it's definitely not a time to really up the dosage or try more extreme things. It's because you're forcing it now, and you're going to get a different look.
That's what you see
That's
nowadays?
Totally. I've taken my time. I've let it ride because I wasn't in a hurry to think I had to compete the very next year, you know, because I wanted to make the gains to show improvements. It's okay if you compete the next year. You know, people go, oh, he didn't improve much at all, you know, for the next 2 years. That's okay. Because if you make the forced improvements, you might do this, but you're going to do that every time, and it's not going to look the same. You're actually, even though you're taking more time, the quality is going to be there, and you're going to last a lot longer. So it's like going like this, and then when you stop, you can kind of maintain. Because guys that force it, it's going to go like that, and then just for normal life, even when not competing, is down here. You see a lot of these guys, they look terrible.
Yeah, I think it's a very deep problem. And the question that I was actually leading into is, why do you think this stuff became so popularized and it became a standard within the sport? You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you look at boxing or you look at basketball or any other sport, they test you, you know, or they test you in the UFC, you know, like, why do you think they say like, oh, you absolutely need to take this stuff in order to be, you know, impressive? Is it because of the corruption within, you know, the IFBB, and that's what kind of like Bob Harris got me the feel of, you know, through this post, because he was really like talking, you know, about the culture that forced him into using stuff because that he had to fulfill the standard, you know, that was very well accepted in the sport. What do you think the root of it? Where do you think it came from? Why is it people cannot be natural and, you know, push their talent to the extreme? Because if you look like, you know, you look at Kai Green before he turned pro, or when he turned pro, he was natural, or Ronnie Coleman, or Dennis Wolf, dude, or Branch Warren. Their physiques were sick, dude, to begin with, even before they went into the dark side.
Well, but the thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that they weren't kind of on the dark side. It's just, like I say, your gains, you try to force it. In my opinion, I think a lot of them looked better
Less.
when supposedly they were at their prime. Like Flex, I think in 93, he was the best he ever looked, and he never achieved that. He tried to get bigger. which jeopardized his health. And even though he was getting bigger and maybe even winning too, to me, that was my ideal beauty, perfection.
Yes.
Just because he would lose to like Dorian Yates because it was apples and oranges, he changed. He got out of his lane, and that to me, he would still be competing right now if he stayed at what 218 pounds. He took second to Dorian, his first Olympia. In '93, he weighed maybe 226, 230.
How old is Dorian?
Oh, Dorian's probably about 55, 56.
Okay.
Maybe.
And how old is Flex? Also about the same,
Flex
right?
is about 3 years older than me, 3 to 4 years older than me.
Okay. So he's not. Yeah, he would be still be able to be out there.
Yeah. Yeah, Dexter's 50.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, Dexter is the fucking King Kong, dude. I love him. You cannot not love the Dexter. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I just guest posed with him.
He's a fucking cool dude. He has such a great energy.
I might
about
start
him.
training with him.
Yeah,
with
he's such a
Charles
character,
Olympia.
man. You got it. He's like, I like Danny Hester a
He
lot.
always wants to debate stuff. Everything is a debate with Dex, man. He's so funny.
You know, and yeah, dude, to have him on stage still, it kind of shows you and inspires you for the, you know, that the bodybuilding can be done right, you know, when you don't have to retire, you know, at late 30s or 40s because you beat up and you're done. You know what I mean? And I think he let his genetics carry him very far. You know, a lot of people kind of, you know, especially the young bucks, dude. You see some guys coming up and they're really, just like you said, they're forcing the gains instead of letting their genetic potential take them to the peak, you know, and that jump from there, just like you said, you know. But you know, I think that's the side effect of social media and the
But
rush.
it was happening before that too.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's just the,
but it
the
definitely
nature
is
of,
more
of the
there's
human
more
being.
people doing it because of that, for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. Now you have access to it
Yeah.
worldwide, dude. It gets delivered to your house, no problem. Like you can go online and buy anything. Peptides, GH, insulin, everything with the syringes and bacterialistic water. You know, the access to
that's the crazy thing is, it could be if I was younger, I'd be like, because I've never tried the peptides. People ask me, "What do you think about peptides?"
I'm taking BPC 157 now for my shoulder.
I can't even barely remember my codes to get into my bank account sometimes, or my Facebook codes. For me to, the number you just said for that peptide,
BPC 157.
I wouldn't even. And then all of them have these. I'm like, okay, I don't know which one you're talking about. And it was like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of stick to the basics. It'd be interesting, you know. First of all, you want to make sure that it's real. Yeah. And even if it's real, was it kept in a really good environment to make sure that it's actually still...
Danny, I just did a podcast with Dustin Castellano, and he's a doctor in Orange County. He's been a family doctor for 20 years, and now he's on his own clinic where he does TRT, HGH, and peptides. Dude, he prescribed me with peptides, and those peptides came from American Pharmacy. BPC 157 and TB 500 for rotator cuff injury. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. It's been fucking working.
Yeah.
Because I tore my rotator cuff, and I've been twice a day. I'm doing injections in the rotator cuff of the peptide, and it's just feeling better, bro. I don't know. I can address it maybe because I do a lot of physical therapy.
You do a lot.
I dedicated myself because, you know what, man. I try to avoid the surgery at all costs. Yeah. I'm still young. I have enough years, you know, in my reserve. I can take and wait out.
I just trained my friend Reza. He's an amazing orthopedic surgeon. I mean, I got video of him opening up.
Like, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, I just trained with him yesterday. He's got a shoulder injury, same as mine, and he was telling me, "No, you don't." And he's not even getting surgery, and he does it to people.
Yes.
He's like, "No, I could wait. I don't really need it right now." And he's telling me that, you know, just make sure you do your stuff.
Yes.
How bad is it? He was assessing me. He's like, you should be okay.
Yes, absolutely. Just physical therapy all the time, just to pump blood in there.
Yeah.
You know, and I do everything. A cryotherapy, a fucking peptides, and it's feeling a lot better.
But he does the peptides too.
You know, I feel a lot better, dude. I feel a lot better. Definitely there's a progress. I wake up on this side. Before I couldn't even sleep on this side. You know what I mean? It was so painful. I wake up and flame.
Yes.
And it's finally... I'm really, if you know, I'll do another MRI in a couple of weeks and see where the progress is at, and there is any scarring, and there's a scarring in that tear. But I think you go into surgery too early sometimes, and surgeons really push you, like, you know, this is the fix.
Of course.
This is the fix.
That's how they make their
money.
money.
The first thing you have to fucking fix is the posture. You know what I mean? You're gonna fix that guy. His shoulder was up front, and he's gonna stay up front. He's gonna get injured. He's not gonna have the same range of motion. First, you gotta fix the posture. You know what I mean, and let it heal. Because I mean, people that have shoulder injuries, bro, a lot of them struggle because their posture is off, and they're doing the fucking physical therapy.
Worse.
Oh my god!
Because it hurts, then they do less, and then it hurts more because they do less, and then they do less, and it's just like a dark tunnel.
You know, so talking about peptides, I was very like skeptical about it, just like you are. Like, I don't trust abracadabra bullshit, you know. But there is research behind it, and that's why they are in place. That's why they're out there. I don't think they're regulated or whatnot because it takes 10 years for this shit to go through all this kind of things. But they're prescribing it through a pharmacy, through a real doctor. He's prescribing TRT. I don't know how the fuck. There's probably a loophole somehow, because he's on his office and everything. But you can get all that stuff from him, and it's, dude, I'm asking you questions about longevity because to be at your age and to be 50 years old and to look, what shows it? How many shows did you do in total?
I've done over 150 shows easily. Especially at the beginning. I would go each weekend and do a show at different places. Just so I love the culture. I love the process, standing backstage, going on stage, talking to the people, just with the posing. Even if I wasn't in that great of a shape, people would always come up to me afterwards. Oh, your posing is incredible. I almost fall asleep at a show, and all of a sudden I wake up when I was watching you, and it was different,
Artistic.
Yeah, and I've always kind of felt that. And it wasn't necessarily even just like the pose. People are like, oh, you didn't hit that correctly, but it's not necessarily about that pose. If you own it, then it's correct. It's your body. You know what I mean? And it's about how you do it, the transitions, and the energy you're putting out. I love teaching about posing and just the mindset and everything too. And so many people work so hard. They get on stage.
They can't present it. Their body doesn't flow. They can have really great muscle structure, but they don't know how to show it, how to impress people with it.
But because it's different. Lifting weights and dieting is different than posing and performing. You're on a stage. You're performing. You're not lifting weights in the gym, and it's not about the nutrition now. It's totally different, but they want to put it all on one thing. It's like you have to have time to do that, especially if you don't move just kind of naturally, smooth. Put more time into it.
How often do you practice posing?
I do it in so many different ways. I do it just
throughout the day,
on things. If I'm doing lunges and stuff, I kind of imagine just even when I'm training. You know what I mean? Just
makes a lot of sense.
Just the way I move my body too.
That creates do you know what? That's like a whole different level of training, man. Like when you're so connected into, you know what I mean?
It's like when you're connected training with the weights.
Yeah, like
some people can just lift the weights, and some people are into it.
They create, you know what I mean, with that movement and stuff. And I think it really shows in your physique. And that's what I said. Like it really separates, the people that come from artistry and people that come just for size and confidence. You know what I mean? For the man's monsters. And looking at your body, dude. I think we were getting back to this Olympia. What do you see? Who do you see out of who's gonna make that a good competition for you? What do you see? What are your predictions gonna be?
I know I'll be in condition. I know I could do that.
Do you think politics will pull you into something or no?
Always. But I can't complain because maybe politics is the reason I won too. So I can't have it both ways. Yeah, but the person that didn't win would say that. So it's like, regardless, who knows, it is what it is. That's why for me, it's like, I don't think I'm coming in with enough of a change this year because I'm working on overall learning and things like even just the vacuum, bringing up like hamstrings. Once I get certain things more balanced, then I'll really put more focus on just being consistent and keeping the size and not really kind of letting go a little bit and being more athletic doing things. I'll focus more on just the dedication of bodybuilding. And a lot of guys do that year round. I really don't, and I think that's why I don't get burnt out on it too all these years. Because I look at it, it's the season for it. I keep my fitness game whether I'm competing or not at a certain level because I love training with athletes. If you invite me to go boxing or whatever, I want to be able to hang with you and perform with you and move with you, whatever it is, MMA, boxing, if we're going to run sprints or whatever. I love being athletic. You know, so that game is my life. Bodybuilding is a section of that game. And so I focus on that for a short period of time. And then while I'm working on little gains. Once I kind of get those and I see they're kind of making progress in it and I'm more balanced, then I'll focus longer when I'm ready. And I think that's going to be the next Olympia or possibly the next Arnold.
Arnold is a good one.
Arnold's good. I like to have that title.
I do. I think you should. I think you should.
Unfortunately, when I won Olympia the first year, they didn't have the Arnold yet. They had it the following year.
What do you think you're going up against? Like, who do you see as your major competition coming into the Olympia, into the show?
It's different, and it's hard. A lot of people look at people on social media. When you actually get backstage and you see them, it definitely is different.
Oh my God, 100%, 100%, 100%.
Like 100%. For instance, Terrence, beautiful physique, especially when I saw him on social media.
Yes.
The first year, I think him and Breon were part of the reasons I freaking busted my ass. And I'm like, oh my gosh, his physique.
Bro, I'm not gonna Danny. The jokes aside, I don't see Breon.
No, but I saw Breon in person the first year. He came down from being like a 212er.
Yeah.
Chris was working with him. I actually helped him. Chris asked me. I went up with. I didn't even know he's competing in the classic. I just saw those hamstrings when you're doing leg curls. I'm like, oh geez, I need to get hamstrings like that.
Yeah.
He's like a running back or something.
His legs are crazy. Breon's legs are crazy.
And so we went upstairs, and Chris was with him, Cormier, and so he was working with him. I was helping a little bit with the posing too. And then months later, he was on the stage with me. You know, so I got to see him, but Terrence I didn't get to see. I just saw in pictures.
I don't think he's gonna win this year.
Who's that?
Breon.
It'll be different. We'll see. Breon definitely is consistent with his conditioning.
Yeah, bro. I don't see his poses are forced. His posing is not healthy. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? That's no hate. I like him as an athlete and whatnot. He's a great bodybuilder. But talking about
it's a different style.
Yeah, very different. It's very bodybuildish. It's very bodybuildish. It's very open bodybuilding. It's not in his heart.
It needs to be more classic.
Yes, way more.
At least that's
the way he turns his wrist,
like
the way he poses. You could tell that's awkward to him. It's not natural. When you hit those poses, it just goes into it. You know what I mean?
He's getting better though.
Yeah, he does. He does absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I think he should have. I always tell him. I thought if they picked me for first at the Olympia the first year, he should have been second. You know, because his conditioning was there. I think what maybe hurt him, because he took fourth, is his posing.
Yeah, 100%.
And the next year, he really worked on it, and he's getting better.
Yeah, but see,
But it's still a different style, like you said.
Very bodybuilder style.
Yes.
Lots of squeezing in it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you hit your pose, you're not shaking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there is that shake that does kind of throw me off, you know, from posing. Like, I like really Pete Hartwig's posing. Dude, it's just, the guy is a craftsman, dude. Like, I saw him in a very severe environment in Joshua Tree. It was really cold, and we were filming, and he posed in the naked rock for like an hour and a half, non-stop posing. Dude, fucking, I never seen anything like that. So flawlessly, so effortlessly.
To be honest, I think my posing is about 50%. I could be much better.
Let's do it.
I watch people and I'm like, I need to practice certain things more. Because you tend to just to go to what you've always been doing, you know? There's so many poses out there that I think I could hit it better. I want to have it more embedded in my head so I don't have to kind of go through this little routine, you know? And I can have a little bit more, because when you've practiced and you have confidence in your posing, it flows so much better. But the thing is, people just take your time, and it'll be okay. A lot of times I'll be out there, and it depends on my mindset at the time. A couple of times I've argued with my wife because we perform together before we go out there, and I'm out of it. I really am, and I actually will hold a pose, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm not feeling anything, and I have to think, like, methodically about like what the next pose is gonna be, rather than feeling it. And I could see those. And then sometimes we get off stage and I think it sucks. And then everyone comes up and I look at the video and say, oh, it wasn't that bad. But I thought it was bad because I was not feeling it.
You were not present in it.
Yes. And I think that's half of the projection that you're giving people. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it has to do, I think I get away with it because the structure of my physique and the movements.
Yeah, every pose that you hit, it flows.
But definitely, I want to have much more poses in my arsenal. That's just because I see people hit certain poses, and I said, "Boy, I need to practice because they hit it the way I want."
Are you putting together a new routine for this one?
I'm gonna try. I shouldn't say try, but I need to. And working with teaching actually is helping me a lot.
I think that stuff that you do with the stick, with the warrior stances and stuff. Yeah, with
that's incredible. I'm going to China next month, and I'm gonna be doing that. I'm actually working with people doing that now.
That's fucking super sick idea, dude. They fucking love the sword. They want to see that. They want to see muscle and shit. They'll be crazy. Go crazy about it. They'll be fucking lifting like crazy, dude. I think you have a great look. You're still very marketable. I think it sells extremely well in China. I think Francis Benfado just went to China to do his progressive performance training, also to promote in China, and does very well, I believe. Yeah. Because trainees are ready for the fitness change because their level of life is picking up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And they have their own social media too.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a huge market, and
but
people
fitness on their platform is big too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be definitely a great move for you to go to thing and to just document that experience, Danny.
Yes, I know.
You absolutely have to. But man,
I wish he could videotape stuff. I'd have great stuff because he's always with me.
How often? how much your wife is around you?
Not that much.
Okay, well then you know what you do, bro. You just fucking hire a kid. Yeah. For just fun, like 2 days in 2 days, You just film all the stuff, every picture, and you'll have the bank of stuff.
But on top of it too, Artemis, because we're athletes, and also we kind of know. If I could feel myself, that would be the ideal, because I get guys that have done stuff, and then when they film me, I'm just going.
You don't like the way it does. It's hard to find a good guy.
The angle they used, it was like, couldn't you see that I'm not here? And then when I'm turning, I'm just. They're not they're not in shape. So maybe I should get an athlete because they don't understand what to focus on. They'll zoom up on like my shoulders, but then my freaking chest is striated, and they didn't even get that.
You gotta have a fan. You gotta get a fan. A guy that really loves bodybuilding. He might necessarily be an athlete, but the guy that loves the body. Yeah. Okay, it's hard for me to find because usually I took all my photos. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I built my company by myself. I took my own pictures with the tripod everywhere on Hollywood Boulevard, fucking on the streets in downtown, here behind my house, the whole store, everything I did by myself, dude. Like everything, But I got to the point where you had to step up the quality, so you do have to hire someone. Yeah. And to find someone that really gets it is super hard. But when you find the person, you just hold on to him, Because, and it's very important also to teach people, say, okay, I like it from this angle. I like it from this angle. Wow. I want you to give me this light. Yes. And I want you to fucking film me here for 10 seconds and then 5 seconds from the back. And then you're going to put it together. Because you know how your physique looks the best,
What you're saying is so true. But a lot of times I've shot with people. That's what they do for their career, but they don't really shoot fitness like bodybuilders. They'll shoot like products and stuff.
Lifestyle bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I just shot this thing with Frank Zane out in the desert, and these guys are award-winning cinematographers, directors. They've done like high-end commercials and everything, great lighting and everything. But like I said, when they were shooting me, I asked them, "Can I see it?" Like after a couple things they shot, and like, oh, we don't really work that way. We'll do an editing. We'll send you something.
Oh no, I hate that. Fuck, I can't. No, let me see my shit now.
And they're not bodybuilders, okay? Yeah. And so the sun was in the background. It was setting. I wanted to see if the different poses. Did I need to flex my leg as hard? What angles do I need to turn my leg out a little bit so I can see? They don't understand that that's what I need to see. Exactly. I'm not judging their cinematography skills. Yeah. I'm looking at me.
Your physique, yes.
And the whole time I'm like over flexing. It was getting a little bit cold. And then the rock I didn't have shoes on, so the rocks were really jaggy, so I had to be careful with my step. So it couldn't be as fluid as I wanted. I got the footage back. It was nice, but it was just my silhouette. And I'm thinking I could have moved so much more fluid if I knew they weren't going to show all the striations.
Is it that video that you sent me?
Yeah.
Dude, that fucking concept is sick. The voiceover is sick.
Yeah. But it could have been even smoother if
the visuals could be, the lighting could be.
And the transitions that he was turning, it was almost like as he was turning, he was focusing on my stomach a little bit when it was a little bit out, rather than
You
shooting
fucking
to
see
something
that
else.
shit right away.
Yes.
You see that, like, oh shit, I'll reflex my section here. Fuck. Take it off. I don't want to see it. I know exactly what you're saying.
and
I know
I'm
exactly
thinking-
what you're saying.
But he was half of it. I thought he was getting the transitions that I didn't look the best at, you know. And then the ones when I would really hit it, he'd get it for 2 seconds and go into this weird thing, and I'm thinking, okay, that's why I need to, like, kind of have my input in.
Danny, I wanted to ask you a question. There's a lot of guys that get discouraged by politics in the sport. What your advice would be to someone that, you know, been a victim to politics and feel like he should be doing it no more? How do you deal with politics, and how do you go about the modern, you know, bodybuilding, modern sport, and how you make in it? Like, how do you make in a competitive world? How do you make it? Like, how do you make it out there? What's the ingredients of making it into competitive bodybuilding and making it in the sport of bodybuilding or like physique, classic physique?
There's politics, and then there's reality. And sometimes you want to blame politics and not so much reality. But sometimes it could be right also. You have to always do a show to make gains. And I use competition to improve myself. Don't use competition to damage yourself. That's key. Because if you think that this is what the judges want, you're going to damage your body to get there, and that might just be the flavor for that couple years. You know what I mean? Just stick to your lane and have patience, because those judges, your people, they could be in the popularity. Now people are talking about you. For 2 years, they're not talking about you, whatever. Look at Sean Roden won the Olympia. He went from 4 years ago to 11th place to 2nd place to 4th place, and then to winning. You know,
I don't feel his physique.
But he won.
Yeah, he's no arms.
Yeah, but well, my point is
The
that
compromise,
he
though.
won.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I think it was gift.
So-
it was more of a gift.
but he was the best at the time compared to who else?
I think Rolly Winkler. I think that gives him run for his money in that particular
Yes.
year. He was hard. He was big.
Brought his waist in.
His arms are very impressive, and Sean has I'm not like throwing shade or anything. We're just talking sport, you know. I think he has great body. I think the back is not dense enough. It's not hard enough. I think the arms are missing separation. Like, I studied his physique because I was a big
Yeah, me
fan.
too.
I saw him at Arnold Classic.
Well, see, this is the thing, is I think you're absolutely right, and I think he should just keep doing what he's doing and improve those. Don't have the pressure of thinking you have to win. You already won Olympia. You're immortalized now.
Yeah.
So now do it the way you want to do it. That would be the best advice I could give him. That's the advice I'm taking. I don't have to. If I don't even place, it's like, as long as I'm making improvements, because I want to take the picture of when I'm at my best, I feel I've accomplished my best, and then maybe retire, regardless of if I win or place or whatever, of the picture that I won the Olympia. And I guarantee you this picture is going to be 10 times better than this picture.
Makes sense.
Right? Because you can just tell people you won Mr. Universe, you won Olympia, whatever. It's the pictures they look at that they're going to judge you on.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a
do it
lot
all
of
the time.
sense. But I feel like, you know, Phil Heath goes, then I don't really see anybody, you know, that's coming up that's really about to make a really good statement in terms of, dude, Phil Heath, arguably the best bodybuilder of all time for me.
I think I feel a few Olympias ago.
Yes, 2013,
Not the
2000.
recent ones.
No, those are no. 2013, 2012, I think 2011, like those years when he was competing, I think 2013, that was the best. Nobody could touch that.
Yeah.
Even Ronnie Coleman, as much as Ronnie Coleman was a king, and dude, whatever he's going through right now, I never talked about that actually, but I do have my thoughts on that, you know.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say Samir won the Olympia, and then he can't change his game plan. Frank Zane won the Olympia, then he changed his game plan. He tried to get bigger.
Same thing with Francis Benfata.
Just keep why you won. Don't change. Make small improvements. Even if you're not winning then, you're going to still be in the mix when it's your time again. But if you change your whole game plan, which is not really why you won the first time anymore, then you're lost. You see my point? I'm going to stick to my game plan. If I don't do well this next Olympia, I know as long as I'm making progress and not falling back, I'm making progress and add little things, and then I'll get better, and then I'll focus even more, then that will be the show.
That's a real Marshall's fucking plan, dude. This is a longevity plan. This is a wise plan. Takes a lot of experience.
Because I could think, which I did, you know what? Let's try to get this one. Let's gear up. Use all the things in the tool bag that I don't really care to use because I know it really will age you and wear you out. I can get up there. I can be a contender. No problem. To do what? Win another medal? I already have one. I have the first one on top of it. So I'm going to take my time
That's
again.
such a cool thing to have.
Yeah, so I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to chase it because it really is about your ego. If you're trying to chase it because of what people are saying, oh, he's washed up now, whatever. Well, no, this is just the game plan now. It's a different game plan. There's more top guys coming up. For me, it's about kind of almost starting over and improving myself even more. I improve myself.
I don't think you have anything less to prove.
I don't have anything less to prove, but what we were talking about, I want to prove to myself I can get that work ethics. I want to be proud again of how hard I work. I want to really get that structure.
Okay.
That's what I haven't done. The last couple Olympias, I have not done.
I don't think you ever done it, dude. You've always been in shape without actually putting in work.
To a certain degree.
You know what I mean? Because you would never.
And if I've done it, it's only maybe the last one.
You always used to talk about you as like, man, fuck, Danny doesn't even work out. Looks like that. Can you imagine what happens? That full lifts, like actually lifts, because you'll do a couple sets and that's it. I think you should give it all. I think you should see. You write it out. I don't think you have many. I mean, you do have many years, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like it takes a certain level of beating on your body, anyways.
It does.
You know, to
even though my body's responding now.
Very well. You
can never predict. Next year, it could shut down.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen to your knee.
You don't know.
You don't know
because your body chemistry is always changing. You know, right now you think, oh, I'm plateauing. This is the best I'm gonna look. I thought I was done at 30 years old, bro. I really did. Because in my 20s, I was with EAS. I was in all the magazine covers and everything. Then I kind of retired because everyone was getting big and I thought they didn't appreciate it. So I tried to open gyms and do entrepreneur stuff, but stay in the business still, did photo shoots. But competing, I stopped, and I thought I was done. I thought I can't really put on that much more size or quality or whatever. I thought I was done at 30 years old. You know when I started back up and got interested in just, okay. Because at a certain point, I was in the mix training with Flex and all these top guys. Now there's no one around. I'm not motivated. I used to go at a certain level. It's like, I'm just going to keep myself in shape just to look good and be functional for training athletes and celebrities now. But myself, I kind of gave up on thinking, okay, that's the max I did. Boy, man, I wasted maybe 8 to 10 years thinking that was it.
Oh.
But I didn't really start my body, and everybody's time clock's different. 38 years old, bro, is when I started to change.
Me too, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I'm like going through the injury, I can see my body is changing. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't react to the training like this before.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm still leaner.
So
I get away with so many more
like
calories.
What we're talking about, not just to feel like we're preachy, but it is something that needs to be addressed. Is don't try to force it. Give it time, because you force it now, it's gonna
build up later, 100%.
You're gonna lose the quality later on. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Russian muscle looks very. I mean, that's why people look the same on stage, because everybody's kind of on the same protocols, and you know, all the trainers are pushing for more gear because they want to address the results of their work. You know what I mean? Like you can work with me because this guy's giving you more drugs, and then sometimes dudes are looking for the next guru because that guy is giving them more shit. You know what I mean? And I think this. I don't like the culture of bodybuilding as much anymore because I was really deeply enrooted into abuse of steroids. And when I hired a guy in Venice to help me with training, I was put on everything, bro. Like I had to do an injection every day before workout. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And I had to eat and overstuff myself, and I felt very unhealthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was aging fast.
Yes.
Your hair going because you're using so much shit. You know what I mean? And there is no break. There is no break. No. There is no break.
And what's the end game? It's like, geez.
Size,
muscularity.
Yeah, Yeah.
Because what in the back of your head is okay, I'm just gonna do this for a few years because you know you can't continue that path. But the way I do it, I don't think that I can do it for 20 more years. You see the difference? If you're thinking that whatever you're doing, can you do it for 20 years? How are you gonna look? And if you can't, you're taking too much stuff. Bottom line.
100%. 100%. And that's just like you said, like where the key word is like taking stuff for longevity. You know what I mean? Like you can stay in a great shape, but you can still compete at a very high level just taking a dose of TRT and HGH.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the experience that as bodybuilders, we learn so much how to manipulate the hormones and the nutrition and everything, your body chemistry. Bring that to your clients. That's why people think, oh, you want a bodybuilder? No, you should. As long as the bodybuilder understands not the abuse part of it. They understand the longevity of it. Because there's a lot of people out there that just have regular jobs and they kind of diet and they train a little bit. Their hormone levels are so out of whack, they're actually very unhealthy. And they don't get their blood work.
No, I think...
I mean, you can improve the quality of their life with what we do as our sport, our passion. You can bring that to normal people. But they get such a stigma when people die and look like crap and and they can't move and they have injuries, you know? It's like...
Do you think IFBB has to be blamed for that?
What's that?
IFBB has to be blamed for that because they're kind of promoting that type of culture. I even had a fucking conspiracy theory, man. I had a conspiracy theory that...
I don't... Well, you know that Tyler just took over for Jim Mannion's grandson. His grandson.
His kid, right? Like the guy, the wrestler kid.
Yes.
What the fuck he knows about bodybuilding?
He's been in it since he was a little kid. I remember him as a little baby. He grew up with it.
I think you have to come from the background of actually doing it, you know, to really understand. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But he does come from the background.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But the positive thing I'm looking at is he's coming from... He's not necessarily coming from the hardcore that he's gilled up to the, you know, juiced up. Yeah. He's coming from kind of a mainstream. He's got the best of both worlds. Do you see what I'm saying?
Possibly. I just hope that it is going to go the right route.
He could bring what is more marketable because what he's going to say, he calls the shots to a certain degree now. Right? So he has, and he's young. He's like 23, 24 maybe. So
I don't know how you can trust a 23-year-old and run in such a federation as IFBB and then run the athletes.
Obviously Jim's still around, other people are still around. But the influence of having new blood.
Yeah, I agree.
Better than having old blood.
You know, it starts then.
Having a guy that's been there 30 years take over, nothing's going to happen, bro.
I know. I just hope this kid knows how to really give back to the bodybuilders and to the world and stuff because in all honesty, bro, like, the prize money is laughable.
Yeah, but so what?
You have to pay athletes a little more. They
do
struggle, bro. They do struggle. Most of the bodybuilders struggle. Most of the competitive guys have problems paying rent. No, I mean seriously.
Well, Artemus, that's
at the pro level.
Look at boxers. I look at other sports. When they make it, okay, they make money, right? But coming up there, they're struggling too. You know how many fights a boxer has to have to a certain degree before they make it? My friend Sergio Martinez, who's middleweight champion of the world, he had to have 40 fights, almost 40 fights before he got noticed.
But you talk about paychecks that were.
But when he made it, he made millions.
Millions, and here you make fucking $300,000, $400,000.
But I think.
If that about classic physique making shit 10 grand.
No, they don't.
Oh my god, dude, these kids are living with roommates.
Well,
yeah, I mean, like you put your life on the line. You put your fucking life on the line. Every pap we do, you put your health on the risk, and you have to get paid for that. I mean, I am not like talking shit or whatnot, man, but I do believe that it's a family business. It's a family fucking business, and I think the platform is so huge and so powerful that it can give so much more to the sport and promote the growth of it and whatnot. But
that's up to the athlete.
Yeah. Nowadays, you don't have to compete anymore.
Yeah.
So nowadays, it's gone. But when we're talking about the structure of the sport that's, that sets the standard, and for the culture of bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Because in the end of the day, it's still it's a core of fitness.
It is the core of
IABB
fitness.
is a core of fitness.
When I train guys from the Dodgers, just guys that made millions of dollars that are seen worldwide, name recognition, I go to their homes. Guess what's on their coffee table? Muscle and Fitness, Flex Magazine, Muscle Magazine.
Yeah.
They go to us to see what's going on.
Yes.
We are the guinea pigs. We are the guys that do all the experiments. We know it first before even the doctors know it.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Bodybuilding sets the pace
For training, for nutrition,
muscle gain, for weight loss.
These other subcultures of it,
like CrossFit
will
and all that,
basically take from what we've got, and they'll change and tweak the names a little bit, and it's like pretty much the same thing. Oh, you mean you're talking about this that we were doing 20 years ago? You just changed the name and twisted it a little bit.
But dude, there's absolutely you can.
But
you
we
can
are the
take it
epicenter.
away. Yeah,
We're the core.
we are the culture of muscle, and if you want muscle, this is where you go. You go to bodybuilding culture.
Yeah. So to a certain degree, we are the ones in the pit, digging the dirt. We're experimenting on ourselves.
Yeah, so I guess you get paid a little bit more.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but if you got paid more, it might change things to a certain
I think
degree.
you'll have more competition. You'll have more happy people. You'll have more of everything if you just invest in it. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. Yes and no. It's different because then the people that really are doing it because they really want to do it, because obviously they know it's not about money.
Well, but if you can
They're not
provide
gonna
for
be
your
that
family from
hardcore.
this, you can give it a lot more. If you can provide your family with this, you can, like, if you're a professional fighter, you get paid, you know what I mean, at the top level, you get fucking paid. So you can provide your family. Like, if you look at someone like Wilder, how much he makes, of course, he worked his way up there, but it's just, like, he can focus on that. And he doesn't give less than Ronnie Coleman, because Ronnie Coleman, Dave, fucking shit town. Ronnie Coleman should be a billionaire, in terms of work and sacrifice that he's done for bodybuilding. You know what I mean? You
Did what for bodybuilding?
in terms of his effort into the sport himself, in training and dieting and pushing himself on the professional level as an athlete, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He gave it all. Like, he gave it fucking all. Just like, any boxer would give it all. You know what I'm saying? At the top level. And I think that type of effort that Ronnie Coleman put into it, I mean, it's worth a lot more than just, $400,000 a year. I think it's worth more than that. That type of sacrifice of health and beating on your body, dude, he's the fucking dude. He took it to another level.
Yeah, no, but I'm not in agreement with how he did it. I think
Me neither.
I think
Me
he could
neither.
still have won all those and not been as extreme. He could still be walking right now, but that's just his mindset. I think if he got paid nothing, he would still do the same thing. I think if he got paid $1 billion, he would still do the same thing.
No, but it's not about if he still would do the same thing. That's about him getting paid that money. You know what I mean? Like, I would love him to get that money because he really deserved it. And if you look at like Chris Cormier, and if you look all the like people that are retired from bodybuilding, if they didn't really, I mean, it all comes down to the person. Just
what you're talking about is what you're saying is the federation, because there's gonna be fighters. The UFC. The reason I didn't get into it, because I came out of wrestling in college and I was a good athlete. They paid nothing. I'm not getting my teeth and nose broke to get paid $1,000 a fight, if even that back then.
That's the nature of the sport.
Yeah, but as the federation grew, they started making a little bit more money. And some people say they still need to make more based on how much
Makes sense.
the billions of dollars that
Makes sense.
their federation
That 100% makes sense, but $1,000 for a pro show.
No.
It's a fucking joke, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
you can pay an athlete at least $20,000.
They can.
You
They can afford to.
They can, and I
Yeah.
think they totally should. Because I mean, dude, come on,
I agree.
It's gonna raise. I mean, as I said, bro, like I'm out of that, out of the realm of competing, and if I ever go back to it, I'll do it my way, and I wouldn't care if I win or not, but. I just feel like bodybuilding would be a lot more accepted and appreciated if it was rewarded properly as well.
My thing is that the federation should be promoting the athletes more. Because if they're going to
100%.
keep all the money and only give a little bit to the athletes, then that money should be used to promote the federation, to grow the federation, so the athletes would be more
Totally.
marketed out there. They'd be more seen. They'd be more visible, which they can get more endorsements. Right?
Just like UFC does it.
Exactly.
Just like UFC
So
does
if you're not going to really do anything other than just have competitions and use that money to market outside of it, because that's the problem with, they wonder why bodybuilding is not mainstream. Well, the people that are making all the money aren't using the money to help promote the athletes. They want the athletes to promote themselves, which they should too. But if you paid them more money, they would have more money to be able to hire someone and promote themselves.
Oh,
so if you're not
absolutely.
going to pay them the money, then you need to do it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything,
that's what I'm lobbying for.
because it only helps their federation too. If anything, have prize money be whatever the money is, and it should be matched with this much marketing. We're going to market you this much.
I totally agree with you, and that's why I think at 23 years old shouldn't be running a federation like that. It should be someone that's truly, truly passionate about the sport, that himself did a fucking prep and knew how hard that motherfucker is before he cuts a check to a guy. You know what I mean? And especially if you're a veteran. I mean, I'm not blaming them, because whoever puts this organization together, that's their own business, that's their endeavor and effort, and should be rewarded in whatever they decide.
When I
It's
first
someone's
started
business.
in
I
the
respect that.
80s, I used to see judges that were fat as a judge. And I'm thinking, and then I find out they never competed. So, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
used to think that. I think it used to be just ex-athletes that should be judging.
You know, those are little things that just kind of help kind of clean up the sport and make it a little bit more mainstream. And it's kind of cool to have kind of a debate going, you know, because bodybuilding is kind of a boring thing.
But
you know what I mean? There's no
this
much
debate has been
entertainment.
going on forever.
Yeah,
My friend Sean Ray was heading this debate 20 years ago.
And nothing ever
People were
happened.
talking about a union and this and that.
Nothing
The best thing to a certain degree happened was when Vince McMahon tried to open up his federation, the WBF. You know, and Aaron Baker and all those guys. Gary Stridham went over there. I thought, cool, competition, more money. Unfortunately, it was bad timing on his part, on McMahon's, because he had all the issues with his federation, with the wrestling federation. You know, and so he ended up dropping it after a couple years. And those guys, it was hard for them to get back in. But it definitely, one of the reasons that they raised the prize money on this side, because the prize money was pretty crazy on this side.
That's what's... I don't know. Dude, you know why? I think there's just... The only thing that IFBB is really built around is fucking Mr. Olympia title. Because it's very historic.
Of course.
Is it your phone? No.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. Is yours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
What was that?
Of course, if they didn't have the Olympia,
Yeah.
it'd be like any other federation.
No, you could fucking put together anything. Because for people,
Yeah.
Olympia means a lot more than money.
Of course.
Like, I'm Mr. Olympia, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't buy that shit with money. You can't fucking buy it. That's historical shit. You know what I mean? Even though right now, like, I was thinking, like, you create, like, your own competition and you have, like, you know, $1 million prize money, people still wouldn't value it as much as they
It's
would
different.
value Olympia. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I think over time it's possible if you bring in the best competition.
Well, you know, The Rock is doing something.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love to see that.
He's doing something.
He's doing it.
But I think it's still IFBB based, because he's pretty loyal to it.
Yeah.
Because he was co-producing the last couple of years of the
Yeah,
Olympia.
the Olympia and stuff, you know.
But, you know, Arnold did it, but Arnold was still connected to the IFBB, but it's the Arnold Classic.
Yes.
If he was ever to break away, I think that would still hold some clout.
Dude, Arnold Classic is the best fucking expo in the world. You come in there and you feel the
But
celebration.
you know what? The Arnold pays less than Olympia.
Yeah. It's fucking strange.
And then I guarantee you they make more money.
They do. They do. That venue has 10 times more visitors than Olympia. Olympia has like 100,000, and they have like close to a fucking, you know what I mean, 1 million people to go through that venue.
And it proves it. If the Arnold was in Vegas, it'd be even crazier.
You know what? I wouldn't think so. I think if he was like co-hosting the Olympia, possibly, because
No, if it was held in Vegas.
geographically, Columbus is so badass because the majority of people from Midwest are all fucking driving in Florida, the whole East Coast, bro. 100%.
Yeah, I guess so,
It's
but-
like a fucking thing to do. You know what I mean? Nobody drives out to Vegas because it's such a far drive to go through Kansas and Colorado and then Utah and then
Well,
go
they
to
would
Vegas.
fly.
Yeah,
My
a
point
lot
is,
of people are flying
People
in.
would go to Vegas even if there wasn't a show there.
No, 100%. But the majority of people in that area, dude, they're all fucking. That's why Arnold Classic is so big, And that's why I love Arnold Classic. Plus, dude, he involves all the strongman competitions,
Yeah, the
CrossFit
Olympia is starting to do
competitions.
that now too. But
You
yeah,
know,
no, for sure.
dude, Olympia, you go in there, you don't feel a celebration of the culture of the sport. At Arnold, for some reason, you have that feeling. I don't know what it is, but at Arnold, there is like a spark. You know, an Olympia, I go to the expo and they're just throwing fucking supplements in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really enjoy that much. Plus, everything is super overpriced to participate in the expo, dude. They charged me $4,000 to unload my truck just to fucking forklift.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh,
you know what I
it's
mean?
expensive.
You're very, very expensive. But and then I don't know. I don't really like that venue. I think MGM Grand would be a lot better.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big fucking deal, dude. That's the fucking Olympics of our sport. This is
know.
fucking
I
Oscar.
know.
You know what I mean? Make big deal out of it, you know? Like, put the banners up in Vegas. That's fucking bodybuilding, motherfucker. That's the baddest motherfuckers on the planet Earth. You know what I mean? Period. That's the
Yeah.
fucking freaks, you know? And I think when you force like that, dude, as I said, dude, IFBB is such a great organization to begin with in what they did for the sport of bodybuilding and what it did for us, for you, for me. It's fucking great. And I think you just have more potential to go grow and make impact, you know?
And they're still trying to figure it out with all the different divisions, with
Social
so
media
many.
fucked everyone. They're fucking changing because of social media. They can't do politics as much anymore because people can, hey, you know what? Fuck you. That was politics. And there is now, you have people champs that people really go for because of the exposure that people see on Instagram and everything. And now you have,
It's different politics now, though.
oh my God, dude.
It might not necessarily be politics within the IFBB, but the politics now, I'm telling you, the judges are on social media.
100%.
A lot of times they've already judged the show before they even step on stage. The way they do the call outs. If someone has a very high following, not to mention any names,
That's their investment. That's their marketing. That's their cow.
but
You
we're talking
understand?
about the competitions on the stage.
Yes, absolutely. Dude, and like, come
So
on.
politics
You
is
see the guys on
politics.
Instagram in one thing, and then you see them on stage, and you see them and realize, like, oh shit, you're not what I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, but it also gives them an edge when they get on stage because
Oh, subconsciously, the judges already made a decision, you know, within himself. And the more numbers you have on Instagram, the more comments you have, the more impression it has on you. So you subconsciously start thinking, okay, this guy's the champ.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you know, there are guys that, you know, they might be killing him. You know, that would happen during the Olympia that you were competing, like when Sadiq placed over other people. Like, I don't give a fuck about that dude whatsoever, but I'm just saying that wasn't a good representation. That's something that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
But I feel that social media does impact the judging a lot, in a good way and in a bad way.
yeah.
You know, because it's harder to get away. Danny, if you need to run, well, we can wrap this up, man.
Yeah, we'll be good. I've already missed 3 appointments, so
What did you have to do? Had fucking 3 celebrities
What?
to train.
no.
You know,
all
so
good.
Danny, man, I appreciate you coming out to this thing. Well, we'll sit down again and like go in more detail on nutrition and everything. But
Yeah.
man, I'm not an expert, but I'll give you an advice, bro. We should definitely get you going with more content.
No,
You know what I mean?
I want to.
More content, bro. Like good content, just good camera. Because the more quality you have in your content, the more people are gonna be watching, and the more people are gonna be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plus, you know, marketing is, bro. Marketing right now is everything.
I know. And I like to see athletes being athletes more well-rounded, like with you with the
Dude,
boxing.
fuck, I love to move,
You know,
man.
you see, I just saw on Instagram today, Chris Bumstead slam dunked the ball. That was cool. I didn't even know it was him. I was like, well, dude's pretty jacked for slamming a ball. And I looked, it was Chris.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
so sick.
cool.
That's sick.
You know, I just wanted to be a little more careful. End up like, what's his name? Colin.
Dude, that's
He's like Jinx for the last couple of years.
no, man. The injuries are fucked up.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what worries me.
That will break you, bro. The fucking when you do that type of things, you have to be really careful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys push it. Just what happened to this other dude, just because of social media likes. Because they're kids.
Yeah.
They're kids, bro. You have to admit they're kids. They're in their early 20s. That's what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? But you do have to be very careful with that, because you know your ligaments are not as strong because you're on so much juice. Your fucking
Yeah.
muscles is growing.
You feel like you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, you feel like you can, but your
Yeah.
ligaments are not. You know what I mean? They're not ready
Yeah.
because you're not doing any band work. You're not doing any resistance work. Like, who gives a fuck about stretching? Like, you know what I mean? That's like the last thing on your mind
Yeah.
to prevent injuries. You're fucking going. Like there is no tomorrow. That's why, you know, the injuries happen actually. That's what
That's
happened
true.
to me. I never did any auxiliary work. I never thought of mobility work. I never thought of, you know, like giving it 100% to stretching because I just want to get big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just want to get massive. Like whoever fucking. Plus, you don't want to do any extra work, bro. You get so fucking lazy when you're in that fucking state of mind.
It's
You
different,
take
for sure.
everything as like, oh, it's the fucking extra calorie burn. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I gotta get big. I got
Yeah.
235, man. I gotta make that weight.
Yeah, the
You know?
rotator cuff little exercise you do, you could be like hitting abs or calves or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you think.
Yeah. Like
But this is actually what's gonna keep you from.
getting injured.
Yeah.
And I would see people doing the mouse. Fucking get out of here, bro. Fuck, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Now I'm fucking, just fucking every day, just doing rehabbing my shoulder.
Stretching.
Yeah, but dude,
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro. Fuck, that physical therapy works.
No, it works for sure.
I thought it was abracadabra bullshit, stupid
No.
motherfucker. What are you doing? Don't even move that. Dude, I've been doing that.
Yeah.
My right arms became so much stronger.
I've fixed so many top athletes stuff without surgery because of that. And the irony is, I don't do it as much as I should. I know that it can be done, and I do it, and I apply it to people that do it, and they get results out of it. But then to myself, I feel these nagging things. I say, oh, I know I should do it, but it's not a priority yet. It's like, no, I need to start doing it now because it might be too late to a certain degree or do more damage if you don't start doing the basic stuff now. You know?
100%, Danny. That's, you know, as I said, our younger generation.
And I'd like
is
to see
watching
more
us.
people on social media do stuff like that and then show the cool stuff that gets all the views. You know?
Yeah. But dude, you know, come on, bro. Fucking with that shit that's trending right now is not beneficial for your brain. It makes you fucking go back into your development. You know what I'm saying? Like you degrade your consciousness if you keep watching
What's that?
what's trending on Instagram. Like I mean, like the fitness stuff, bro.
Oh.
Like just Jesus Christ, man. The people do some wicked shit, and people watch that. People watch that over something that's gonna benefit them, that's gonna fucking expand their consciousness, contribute to their fitness, contribute to the value of their life. Nobody wants to fucking do that shit, bro. Everybody wants to be entertained, and that's it. Unfortunately, that's just the reality.
Me too. I'm already ADD enough to get my own stuff going, but then sometimes I'll go on here and things just pop up like drunken parties or something, and you watch people fall and stuff when they're drunk. I'm like, I've been watching this for 10 minutes. What the heck? And I'm like, what was I supposed to do?
Dude.
Oh, I was supposed to make 3 posts. It's like,
Hey,
man,
Danny,
it sucks you in though, doesn't it?
That's what I said, bro.
Ooh.
Danny, bro, you have to be conscious, dude. That's evil shit, dude.
I know.
They're fucking enslaving the world. I'm not fucking around with you, bro. This is fucking true.
It is.
You know, the government knows what's happening. They fucking know what's happening. They know what's the algorithms are behind it. They're doing the fucking neurolinguistic programming on us, dude. And if you're aware of it, and I am, bro, I don't watch stuff. I just create content like we're talking right now. I'm putting out I don't bullshit, you know. I put something that's gonna really benefit someone, like educational stuff, okay? What we do
Yeah.
here is very educational. You're really helping people prevent injuries, you know, do the sport the right way. So you fucking live a fuller life because bodybuilding is not life. You know what I mean? And life is not bodybuilding. It's a part of it, you know. Bodybuilding is just a part of life. It's not everything.
Yeah.
You know, and
It could be, yeah. It could be something that gives you
The platform.
the platform and the positive energy if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it and you're in a dark place and you're bitter about it and you're also all unhealthy because of it, that's what you're gonna put out there too.
Yeah. So like with your thing, dude, I'm telling you, unfollow fucking everybody. Unfollow everyone if it's fucking distracting you from living your life and creating your own shit. Cause dude,
How am I gonna know what you're doing then?
bro, you're a fucking walking legend. You're a walking legend. Your experience, that's all you document. Your experience. You work out in Venice. You work out with all the fucking cool people. You know all the cool people. Document that. People gonna watch that. You know?
Yeah.
Brother.
Look, came a long way from that hand me down. I am not here for the run around. I am not here for the rigmarole. Forget blowing up. Me is the blow.